That was the wrong thing to play. What is up, everybody? Welcome into It's All Connected. Off to a great what? Hey, they can hear us. I see it. I see the audio level right there. They can hear us. But
Thank God.
yeah, we're off to a great start already. Well, there's a little bit of a sneak peek of our Marvel intro. But no. We're happy to be here. This is It's All Connected, the Marvel, DC, Star Wars recap show here on the Illuminerdi. I am Bryce West, a writer and editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and these are our other hosts.
What's up, guys? Richard Nevins here, another writer for the Illuminerdi, mostly Marvel, a little bit of everything, and glad to be here.
Hey, everybody. Caitlin Tyrrell, writer at the Illuminerdi. We have a pretty fun show this week. We had the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and right on the tail of that, the announcement of Captain America 4. Good guess, Bryce. You totally called that.
Nice
I'm
one.
glad, too. I'm really excited.
Me too. We have Sony Disney Plus deal, which we're pretty excited about because we talked about the Sony Netflix deal a few weeks ago. Russell Crowe kind of revealed his big cameo role in Thor 4. Not sure that he was supposed to do that.
Of course he wasn't.
Hawkeye has wrapped up filming, and we have a little bit of news about Ironheart, which I'm really excited for. We got some more Doom Patrol casting information. We have some cool DC Comics news that Bryce is really excited to share. And then Legends of Tomorrow has another new trailer, which I can't wait to talk about. And then a lot of big stuff with Star Wars. We've got some Obi-Wan Kenobi casting. We've got a little bit teased from the actor that voiced Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. And we also are going to break down what you need to know to be able to watch The Bad Batch next week, which all three of us are beyond excited for because we have all watched most of the Clone Wars. Richard is really, really close, guys.
So close.
I'll say this: I apparently have watched everything I need to know for The Bad Batch, so I am good. This is the most caught up I have been in my life on Star Wars stuff. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
There you go.
Yeah, very impressive. Very impressive and excellent timing having watched the Bad Batch arc today.
Just last night.
That was very well done. So I think we're going to jump right into our Marvel stuff.
Yes, but before we do, just wanted to shout out that we do have a super chat feature. Of course, we'll be reading the chat throughout the show, but if you want to guarantee that your message will be read, definitely be sure to send a super chat. It really helps out the show, helps out the channel. Caitlin, I think you were talking about some other incentive.
Not only will it be read, which... Of course. Richard will read it in the Lego Batman voice, guys. You know you want to hear that. Come on.
No, hey, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
Fine.
No, they got a super chat for it, Richard.
Richard will read out the questions in his Lego Batman voice, and if we get 5, Bryce will do a dance.
Well, we'll see. No, I'm kidding. I will. If you super chat, I will do that. But yeah,
regardless of the incentives, please help us out with the super chat.
Yes, for sure. It really helps out the channel. It helps out the show a ton. So yeah, we're heading straight into Marvel.
We have you guys to see for our transitions for our blocks.
Oh,
Bryce,
let's
show
do
the
it.
Marvel one.
Oh yeah.
Boy. Bet you never seen this before.
Right? Yeah, no. Bryce got us up some really cool introductions for all of our different segments. So thank you for that, man.
From YouTube.com. All right. So let's get this show rolling here with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale.
Oh
man.
Action packed.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was definitely action packed. Yeah, for sure.
I think the action was like 25 or 30 minutes of the episode. So
something like that. It felt like at
50?
least half the episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and before we get into anything else, holy crap, Marvel is on their suit game.
Yep.
I mean,
oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was an incredible suit for Falcon.
Oh, Captain America to you. No,
yes,
Captain America.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain America. Thank you.
And Bucky has the ripped leather jacket.
Yeah. That is White Wolf to you know.
That's nice. Yeah.
Maybe when he gets like a costume or something with it, he'll be a little like clearer on that. Right now it's just like I'm Bucky.
Yeah.
Although they did call him Sergeant Barnes when he first came in. That was pretty cool to see.
That was interesting. I think the fact that he has like this level of respect is unexpected, but also maybe should have been expected, because I am assuming the vast majority of the world within the MCU doesn't know he's a former Hydra assassin.
Right.
Yeah. So, no, it was very cool, but it was that moment of like, why they're really nice to him.
It was very, very sudden that they're just nice to Bucky Barnes. I mean, he deserves it, no question, but...
Yeah, and he had an actual hero moment that was very cool when he pulled the doors open and saved the hostage.
That was so cool.
That was very cool for a number of reasons, including the fact that the actual action of it was great, but they thanked him.
Right?
That was so nice.
It's like he didn't even know how to react, and I don't blame him, because he's basically been forced to be a terrorist for 90 years, and like he gets to finally do something good, and people appreciate him for it, like they should.
Well, real quick, we've got Thomas Franco in the chat. He says, "Hey y'all, what's up, Thomas? How are you doing tonight?"
What's up, Thomas?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, we can I talk? But yeah, I love. There wasn't a lot of Bucky in this episode, but the little Bucky that there was, I think, was good.
Totally.
Caitlin, he didn't die. What?
Yeah, I clearly excited. I don't know how I feel about that. Simply because, hey, Morphin Network. Simply because I was sort of bummed with how quickly he apparently healed from his PTSD, because that is not something you get over by essentially doing a checklist. So that was a little bit annoying to me. I'm not saying dying would have been better, but it just was kind of a weird way to wrap it up. I feel like it got wrapped up because of Captain America 4, and for that reason I understand it, but just from a actual standpoint of like an example of PTSD or representation of someone that's living with post-traumatic stress, not necessarily the right way to show that healing process, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like for me with that scene, what I liked about it was that they showed him going back to Mr. Nakajima, and
that was great.
Yeah, I loved that part of it, but I think they went through the second part of that a little quickly, where he just gave the list back to the therapist, and all the names were crossed off. I kind of wish, I don't know if maybe they'll touch on it in Cap 4 or maybe a second season of this. I mean, I doubt it with how it ended, but I would have loved to see a little bit more of that storyline for Bucky, like actually showing him going through that.
Yeah, and figuring out what the right way to do service for those people. Is it just to like say, I'm sorry I killed your loved one, or should he actually be actively doing something? I also would have thought it was better if he just crossed out Yori's name.
Right.
Because we would know he was doing the rest, obviously. I don't think we needed all of them crossed out.
Yeah, or even just Yori or Zemo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, it's clear, and I'm sure we'll probably bring this up again throughout the episode, but it's clear, similarly to WandaVision, that this show really needed like another episode to kind of breathe through this finale, because it was action, and then the last like 15-20 minutes were like, okay, we gotta wrap everything up like real quick, and it's just like I feel like either make the finale longer or add another episode.
I agree,
because there was a lot of action. The action was great, but the story stuff was almost non-existent. I mean, it's just like, I feel
like story with Sam and story with Isaiah was pretty solid though.
Yeah,
I love that scene.
But John, that was weird.
Whiplash.
Yeah. And we haven't even gotten to that yet, but John's stuff was pretty weird. Bucky was like an any percent speed run through the end of his character arc. And Sharon, I think that was even more rushed. It's like,
Sharon's the power broker.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We haven't even got to that yet.
Yeah.
She's surprise. Surprise! Who called it?
I think I called that during the episode 3 watch along.
I think you might have.
And then went, no, that's too obvious. They wouldn't do that.
They went the obvious.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the opposite WandaVision effect.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, totally.
I think it could potentially be very interesting how they use her down the line.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of theories that she's...
Well, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but it also
No,
could
no,
be
no.
very uninteresting.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It really could go either way.
Yeah.
There's been theories that she's a Skrull. I feel like that could be interesting, but it also kind of feels like a cop out.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think she could be a very cool villain in Armor Wars potentially, because you have the legacy aspect of her being Sharon Carter's niece, and then like Tony Stark. Obviously, it's about like his legacy and stuff, and he's the son of one of the founders of Shield. So that's interesting. Also, just bringing the power, like the Power Broker has to be bigger in some way. It's just,
I mean,
I don't know where.
I think it's a lot more simple than I think you're making it out. I think she's probably just gonna be the villain of Cat 4. I mean,
Yeah, definitely. I think that I talked a little bit about it on the watch along. I think that we're jumping around a little bit, but I think that there has to be some ramifications of the fact that Sam essentially outed Isaiah Bradley.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have Power Broker who wants the super soldier serum with some sort of government authority. There has to be ramifications for that.
Yeah. And I will say, though, the thing I loved about the Isaiah Bradley thing is technically he did out him, but it was about the most subtle way he could have outed him. I mean, he just gave him a memorial in the Smithsonian. And I thought that scene was so cool. I mean, like, Isaiah barely even said anything to him. He just gave Sam the biggest hug on the planet, and that was really cool to see.
I think it was cool to see his face and his reaction to it. I just don't think that's how Isaiah would have reacted, because he was so reluctant to have his story out there because he was afraid of what would happen, like when people come after him and stuff like that. So I'm just not really fully convinced that he would have been happy in that scenario, because he didn't seem like that's not what it seemed like he wanted in episode 5 to me.
Yeah. I think
it was definitely a cool moment. Like I'm glad that he got recognition and stuff, but I just don't think that's something that he would have wanted.
Yeah, it was a fantastic scene. It was a fantastic message and like theme there. I think, Bryce, it kind of plays into your I wanted another episode or two.
Yeah.
To see that. And I also just I've said from the beginning I hope he gets recognition, but I think there's gonna be something happens, because he's the basis of the super soldier serum that Power Broker was working with. Like, I hope nothing happens to him, but I don't see
very wishful thinking.
Yeah, I don't see how that isn't going to be some sort of outcome with that. I think Cap 4 would be a cool place to put that, potentially. I was hoping for it in a season 2, but with the movie announcement. But I also feel like it's not necessarily a big enough story for a movie.
Yeah, and then also what I'm curious to see is the whole Eli Bradley thing on top of that, because, like, I mean, there's something that's going to happen with Isaiah Bradley, whether it's in Cap 4, whether it's in, a second season of this. But the Young Avengers are also coming, and at some point Eli Bradley's going to have to get his powers as Patriot. So he's going to be really interesting to pay attention to, especially because
powers. So I don't want to interrupt again, but
no, I was going to say, especially because he barely had any screen time at all in this series.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, his powers, Richard, it's like super strength, super soldier-y type stuff, right? Because he first is getting.
Is he a super soldier?
Well, so initially, the Young Avengers thinks he gets his powers from, like, being Isaiah Bradley's grandson. It's later revealed that he
Genetic,
is, but it's not. He's using a serum, I think, from the Power Broker, which I don't know how they would do that in the MCU now. And then later down the line, he ends up getting a blood transfusion from Isaiah, and then has powers from that. So you kind of have both.
Right. So
if I'm remembering correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, so no, this is a different Patriot. I went to the Jeffrey Mace Patriot from S.H.I.E.L.D., so that's not him. Oh God, that was such a weird storyline. Just total side note on that.
That show is a weird storyline sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like the early seasons, but that got weird after a while.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Human originally augmented with MGH, later received the blood transfusion. Let's see. Oh, did it not even really? All right. Yeah, you guys keep going. I'm going to look for.
So I was a little, like, the Sharon Carter stuff, it felt a little obvious to me. I think it could be very, very cool. I mean, another piece that honestly is all of her character development happened off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just feels like that aspect of it feels sort of unearned. And I know we're going through the parts that we didn't necessarily love right now. We will for sure be talking about the parts that we thought were fantastic in a minute. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like what they did with Carly because I found her interesting throughout the series with her motivation. And then she just was like, let's just murder everyone. That's a better answer. And I was
she
like,
was way more interesting 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that part was a little boring. But no, I thought a lot of pieces of it were good. I thought the action was very cool.
Yes.
The action was incredible.
Yeah, the action, I mean, it rivals the opening scene of the whole show. Like, I don't know if it quite gets there, but it comes pretty damn close.
I love the way he uses the shield.
Yes.
Me too.
I thought that was very cool. I liked the way he used Red Wing.
Yes.
Yes, that was awesome. Oh my gosh. That was so, I mean, oh man, I loved that so much. Whenever he's like, "Hey, Red Wing, see if anybody can pilot this helicopter." Or whatever.
That was great.
That is genius.
Yeah. Like, I think one of my favorite lines of the whole episode was "A little birdie told me you knew how to fly a plane."
Yeah,
that was great. And I also love that he gave someone else a hero moment with that too. It was not just "I'm gonna save the day." It was like a teamwork thing, and someone else can feel heroic. I thought that was very cool. I loved how he lifted the truck. That was one of those moments
that was so cool.
Strength, you need Wakanda tech.
Right. And back to like the pilot thing, I think that's one of the things I love in particular about Sam's Captain America. Like, not that Steve Rogers didn't want other people to get the credit because he worked in a team really well. Sam, I think, is really focused on, even if he has to save people, he wants them to be able to help him with it and, like, you know, be able to feel like they can be an Avenger, something like that.
Yeah, he's very much a call to action hero.
Totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
and the wings coming down when he did the shield to stabilize, that
was so cool.
Everything about the wings was amazing.
And the jetpack going underwater.
Yes, so cool.
If you watch the watch along, me and TC are like, "Oh my God, is he dead?" Like, he's not. How is that gonna work? And then you just see the light. That was awesome.
Right.
Some other hero moments that were kind of weird in this episode, though. John Walker.
Yeah.
Definitely weird.
Another episode or two, I feel like that would have made way more sense.
Yeah.
Agreed.
From super unstable and crazy.
Yeah.
To
semi good guy.
He was sort of heroic and made the right decision. And then
can I help you guys?
Yeah. And then he teamed up with Bucky and helped catch the Flag Smashers instead of killing them.
Yeah.
And then he went like right back to the guy that we met in episode 1 and 2, who's like, "I'm the U.S. agent now. I'm so excited." And you're like, "You learned nothing, huh?"
It took 6 episodes for him to be exactly where he was at the end of episode 1, except with a black suit.
Yeah, that was like I said, I think that was whiplash for me a little bit. I was like, I'm really annoyed that I'm interested in you now because I don't.
Yeah.
But also, I don't understand. Like, was there character development? It sort of felt like it for a second.
Yeah, and I'm really kind of connected with him. I'm really torn on how I feel about Contessa. Like, I mean, obviously she could.
I love her.
Like, I mean, she was hysterical. Like the
got
Walker.
That Agatha
my
vibe.
God.
She's got that Agatha
like
vibe.
most of her dialogue is just her talking, like, basically with herself, and it is
more or less
amazing. Like that is unbelievable. Like how she is able to pull that off. It's great. I love it.
Right.
She's like so mad. Like, Walker, what is like you were saying, Richard? What is taking him so long?
She's just done with it the entire time.
And then whenever the Flagsmeisters get blown up, she's like, "Yeah, well, too bad I didn't have anything to do with it. Or did I? No, I didn't. But maybe."
Or did I? I think she did that one too many times.
Yeah.
I loved when she was
I loved it, man.
That would have been so much paperwork and redacting and shredding. And I think I said it, I'm like, Zemo saved the rainforest.
Right.
Zemo's the true hero of this story.
Yeah. And speaking of Zemo, we didn't really get like any of him besides, I mean, his butler blowing the hell out of some Flag Smashers. But
I love the butler so much. He could tell when he pressed that button. He's like, "I earned this moment. I planted a bomb on a
this
military
is my moment."
car.
Right.
Oh man, but we do need to talk about that speech.
Oh
Yeah.
man, so,
And
top MCU speech for me.
Yes.
right before we get to the speech, the visual of him coming down with the wings holding
Oh,
Harley before the speech,
Solid.
that's a
that
desktop
was
wallpaper right there.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, every shot in this episode with like the wings and the suit in action was damn near perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I would screen grab like anything that had the suit and the shield and the wings.
Yeah.
Because it was so good. Like just the one that really stands out to me, besides like the obvious visual of him holding her with the wings, or like when he first like comes in and we see the suit for the first time, is his wings going down to stabilize him with the shield. That was one of the coolest moments to me.
That was so cool. Yeah. And I love the way, like, I mean, his wings before were pretty cool and they were useful and everything, and they got better throughout the movies. These wings have such a practicality to them. Like, they can do basically anything he needs them to do in battle.
They deflected a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's some vibranium shit for you right there.
Like, they deflected a helicopter. They helped him lift, like, the truck. Like,
Yeah.
you don't beat that. But no, I think Bryce going to the speech is the right move here. I'm sorry that I diverted attention from that.
No
but
worries, no worries.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the speech is tied with me of the visual of him carrying.
Yes. No,
her,
you're right.
it's
Yeah.
almost like that avenging angel look, you
Yeah.
know?
Totally.
I think it's definitely, very similar to last week's episode with Isaiah Bradley and his speech to Sam. I think his speech to Sam's speech to the senators is really, of course, important to today's society, as well as inside the Marvel universe as well. I think some people really need to hear that speech, and I will say this. I see very little negative reaction about Sam becoming Captain America, the speech, and I am kind of shocked.
Within the MCU,
within the world,
Like the fandom.
Yeah,
the fandom, yeah.
Because a black man has just become Captain America. Sadly, this really stinks that I expected this, but I expected to be some sort of backlash, because some people in this earth are horrible, awful people. But
think to not that long ago when it was revealed that like Finn the Stormtrooper in
Star
Wars, like he took off his helmet and everyone freaked out. Like
for sure, yeah.
Like they said, a black man can't be a Stormtrooper, but why not? That doesn't make any sense. They're just people with masks on. Like it's just like they could be. They could be blue. Like, I mean,
Star Wars,
that literally made no sense to me at all. Like, I guess maybe they thought clone troopers and stormtroopers were the same thing. But if that's the case, and they're not actually a Star Wars fan, because there's a very distinct difference between the two.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't mean to go on a rant on that, but that just made absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, like the fact that, for the most part, I haven't looked as much. I'm very sure there are places where people are unhappy about it, but I think the fact that for us and what we've been following on social media, that the reaction has been largely positive.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think the thing I love most about like Sam being Captain America is even more so than Steve. I think Sam just embodies the fact that literally anybody can be Captain America if you have the right mindset, if you want to do the right thing. Because, I mean, even Steve, like, he got the super soldier serum. And I know that, like, obviously that didn't change his character at all, but
it could have. We don't really know. It could have changed it, maybe heightened it to be better, but...
Exactly. But Sam is the closest thing to, like, a normal person. Yeah, he was in the Air Force for a long time, and he did some great work there, but...
He's a veteran.
Exactly.
Captain America, a veteran, not weird.
And plus, like, he, I think, is the most empathetic character possibly in the entire MCU. Like, there was literally the scene where he was fighting Carly was him trying not to fight. And he literally looks for any way possible to avoid some kind of fight if he can. I mean, if he has to, he has to. But he'll solve things with, talking to people way before he tries beating them to death.
Although if Spider-Man shows up in the next Captain America movie, I don't know.
Well, we did say, like, it felt like empathy was his superpower. I think he has,
absolutely.
Like, Wakanda tech is definitely the thing that kind of brings him, like, even footing with a lot of the Avengers physically.
Oh, yeah.
But he has that kind of extra thing that you're not going to find him. Like, Thor's freaking hilarious, and he's also extremely empathetic. Yeah. But he doesn't necessarily have, like, that kind of, like, that thing that Sam has from A, being a veteran, and B, counseling veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Thor's literally not somebody that you can call down to earth, and Sam is.
Yeah.
But no, but in all seriousness, Thor is literally as close as you can get to a god. Like, he's an alien. He's one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Even though he has grown to be really empathetic and he's a great person, Sam is something different.
Yeah, just the reason that connection made sense in my head was, like, Thor's reaction to Gamora being Thanos' daughter. Everyone expected him to be like, I will avenge, like, my people by killing you. Yeah. And instead,
it started like that.
I get it. Yeah, and instead he's like, I get it. Family's hard.
Tough.
Like, that was a very cool moment. And Sam has that, but, like, extra. One of the things that we kind of talked about a little bit, we didn't focus on it enough, I think. And I almost feel like the show didn't focus on it enough. Carly's a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like 22 in real life. She's probably even younger than that in the show.
The character's probably my age in the show.
Like 20 or so, 21,
like 20, yeah. Like, that, I hadn't even, like, really thought about that at all until Sam's like, she's a misguided teenager. And I was just like, oh my God, she is.
Yeah. And she put her all into that fight. And, like, especially the contrast from, like, that scene with her and Sharon, which we haven't really talked about yet. She really was, I think, trying to make the world, a better place for the people who have been there. But
her motivation,
the Sharon thing. Yeah, exactly.
Her motivations I understood until the finale.
Exactly.
But yeah, it didn't land as well as it could have, I think. And I think part of it was them just kind of needing to be like her saying, it doesn't matter if I die. I'm like, okay, so you're dying.
Yeah.
Well,
the whole episode was like, okay, we gotta go. Like, especially with wrapping people, except for Sam and Isaiah. I think almost every single other character was like, yep, we're running on a time limit here. We gotta wrap this up, so.
Yeah.
And the whole Batroc getting killed thing was like, super, like,
he went out super lame.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too that I found interesting. Looking back at, like, the time frames of all these episodes, this was the third shortest episode of all of them. I think it could have benefited from another even 5 to 10 minutes of screen time just in that episode.
I think if it had been as long as 5, it would have been better.
Do you guys think that it would have been better if, like, episode 5 and 6 were just kind of combined into, like, a 2-hour-long episode?
I think going into the action scene would have felt a little less like we got thrown into the middle of something, because I did feel a little disjointed right at the start of the episode. I will say.
Yeah.
I think that some of this, like, I think some of it would have still, honestly, I think it could have used another episode.
Sure, I still agree, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty, like, it was a very cool show, very good show. The theme was fantastic. Like, the stuff they were touching on, I thought was interesting and important. The finale just wasn't my favorite of the episodes. I thought everything they did with Sam was really, really cool, and it needed to be. Like, you needed him to be the primary character. Honestly, one of my complaints is that Bucky felt more like the primary character for the first 3 episodes. So the fact that Sam really took center stage in the back half was really important. I thought the Isaiah Bradley stuff was really cool and very important and very powerful. I am a little worried about it having like ramifications within the MCU, and I feel like it kind of needs to.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like the other stuff kind of felt like it got wrapped up in a bow, but that felt sort of like purposeful because of what we know will happen next. And do we want to talk about that now? Are we good for the finale?
I think so. I think we pretty much covered everything.
For sure. A little jumbled, but I think we got everything. And just my last quick thought on this. I don't think the MCU has brought us a bad episode of Disney Plus yet. This whole thing has been incredible. Like from the start of WandaVision to now, I think the MCU is killing it on Disney Plus.
I think to say that we've had a bad episode it would be a little stingy. I think we've had weaker episodes compared to others.
Well,
but
absolutely.
But I think if you think one of these episodes are weak, I think you're asking.
You have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. Because what Marvel is giving us is incredible.
I think it's like you were kind of alluding to. In comparison, it's not necessarily the strongest of the show, but as a whole, it's a strong episode of TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, well done, Marvel, and I can't wait for Loki.
Yeah, Loki's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
a little bit. Yeah.
Loki is probably gonna be at least as crazy as WandaVision, if not more.
I almost feel like it's going to be a combination. You're going to get the crazy of WandaVision. You're going to get to weird
the drama of Falcon and
also the weird office politics.
Yeah,
because it's
totally.
the Time Variance Authority.
WandaVision meets The Office. It's perfect. That's what I was asking for the whole time that WandaVision was going. Is we need The Office episode. We kind of got it. It was more Modern Family, but we kind of got it.
Plus, Owen Wilson in the MCU is just gonna absolutely kill it.
Yeah, totally. But no, I think we should talk about the news that got dropped the same day as the finale because that was pretty freaking exciting.
There was news that dropped same day as finale.
Yeah, so we're getting a fourth Captain America movie. I mean, you heard us kind of teasing it in the Falcon recap, but yeah, no details on it yet, except that it's going to be written by Malcolm Spellman, who wrote Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I would assume that Anthony Mackie is coming back for it. I assume he's going to be Captain America and all, but
there were reports that there's a rumored Chris Evans Captain America movie in the works, but that is separate from this, is what
exactly. Yeah, so both of them could possibly be getting a Cap movie, but I mean, the fact that he's getting a Captain America movie is awesome. I mostly am just curious to see if this means whether or not we're going to get a season 2 of what's now being titled as Captain America and the Winter Soldier, as it showed at the end of the episode.
Or Captain America Falcon if Bucky dies in the movie. Just saying.
Yeah, for sure. Man, whenever Bucky does die.
Where does he go? Where does he go from here? Literally everything was wrapped up. They were like, look,
Caitlin is so convinced. What I want to see your reaction. In the theater. I want to see your reaction in the theater if Bucky doesn't die. The end credits roll in Captain America 4 and Bucky's not dead. And
Caitlin's going to be like,
if Bucky lives, I will film a reaction of myself on my phone ranting about it. And we can play it.
What if they do a really good job? What if they give him
man.
Negative rant. I said it was a rant. It could be a positive rant. I got really excited. They did an awesome thing I didn't expect. I didn't say it was bad, but I will film it and we can play a clip of it.
But regardless, we're getting a Captain America 4, so
I'm really excited to see Sam as Captain America in a movie. Personally, I was hoping for another season of the show simply for the story perspective of getting 6 more hours. For the larger scale worldview of it, a movie is the right move. We need Sam to get a movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think for me, I didn't really want to see a show, and that's probably because I'm biased because I really wanted the movie. But it's just I don't really see where else this show goes. They're setting up Thunderbolts, but that seems like it's going to be its own thing. And then, the Power Broker stuff, but that could be used in other shows. And so that kind of just leaves Captain America and Bucky. And so...
No, for sure.
I mean,
the point of the show very much...
What do you make out of that with a show?
Yeah. The point of the show very much felt like Sam accepting the role of Captain America.
Yeah.
It was very, very cool. It was very important, and I really liked it. But if that was the point of the show, then you're right. There isn't really a place to go with that.
And another thing is, I do believe that's the point of the show, because we actually, we talked about this in our meeting. It feels like, you're probably going to be able to watch Captain America 4 without having to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because if you just watch Endgame and Steve handed Sam the shield, for a lot of moviegoers, that's it. He's Captain America. But
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still going to be, like if you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're going to appreciate Captain America 4 more. But it really seems like this is just kind of like a side quest in the MCU video game.
Yeah, I think the comparison we made was watching Clone Wars between episode 2 and 3 of the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is very additive. It's very much something that helps a lot and gives you insight into these characters. But yeah, if you go from Endgame to Cap 4, you're like, oh, he got a suit.
Yeah.
The
Bucky's
only
not
thing
Groovy.
the only thing I'll say is that maybe you'll have to watch Falcon Winter Soldier more for the side characters than you will for like Falcon himself or Captain America himself. Because like,
Yeah.
what if Sharon comes back as
Yeah.
the big villain of Captain America 4 or something like
I
that?
think they could go around that with exposition, though. Like,
Mhm.
there's definitely a way to play with that.
Well, she
where
needs it. Like we could use
Yeah,
some
for sure.
flashbacks.
I would love an exposition on
Yeah.
how Sharon Carter got to the place she's
Yeah.
at now.
Yeah, she
I-
needs it bad.
I think like if they have Torres come in as Falcon in the movie, which would not be surprising to me because the showrunner like loves him.
Yeah.
That
Everybody
again,
loves him.
yeah,
he,
that could be pretty.
he was a fun
like,
character.
Yeah, he was great, but that doesn't need a lot of like setup for it. It's this is Sam's friend and contact in the military, and he's training him to be a sidekick. Great.
Yeah.
That's essentially the exposition you need for that.
Yeah, and he had the
I
wings.
can see some people going like, how come Bucky didn't become Falcon?
Bucky has one arm. He doesn't need wings. He's good.
Yeah, I know. No, I get it.
I think Bucky
Yeah.
would hate being Falcon with a
I think so
passion.
too. Yeah.
I completely agree.
It's
I
not
completely
his
agree.
thing. Yeah.
He'd like
Yeah.
break the wing off with his arm and use it to hit people instead.
Oh yeah, he's much more punchy.
Okay, now I
than
want Bucky as Falcon.
We're still waiting for that on your left and get Bucky getting smacked by Sam's wing for talking
Oh
to his
yeah, it
God.
didn't happen. It didn't happen.
That'd be great.
Oh man, maybe in Captain America 4 there'll be a scene where Cap goes on your left and then goes boom.
Oh man.
What was even the context of that? I can't even remember like why we thought that was a good idea.
Bucky's talking to his
Oh,
sister.
he was flirting with his sister. Yeah.
Right, Bucky and Sarah.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's back on. I want it again. Yeah.
Let's do some speculation. What do we think is kind of going to be Captain America 4? I mean, we're guessing Sam because duh.
Yeah. Well,
We're guessing Bucky. I threw in Falcon. I think that could be a thing. I think
Torres
Bryce.
Falcon.
Yeah, I think Bryce said Sharon being a big
Power
villain in
broker,
it. That's
yeah.
definitely a possibility. I think that's a good place to have Eli kind of like have the Patriot thing come up.
Yeah.
At least early teases of it, for sure.
Yeah. So no, I think there's a lot of places to go with it. I think it'll be interesting to see how much of it comes out of the show and how much of it is just new mission.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if anything will happen with like the GRC blip stuff. I think it'll depend on when in the timeline of the MCU it happens, because I'm assuming the movie isn't coming out anytime soon since they said it's in development.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
I think it'll probably be like end of phase 4, maybe early phase 5 or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking
So-
phase 5. Like not even like I don't think phase 4 is a chance. Like I think it's definitely a phase 5 thing.
Yeah, because like I'd say if it's in development now, it's probably gonna be at least 2 years or so before it comes out.
Fantastic Four is further along than Cap 4. At least from my knowledge. So I feel like it's gotta at least come out after that.
Yeah. Still there, Caitlin?
Oh, oops! I think we lost her.
Caitlin Freeze?
Yeah, I think so. Oh no,
Oh,
she's
there you are.
back.
Hey,
There you are.
I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't.
okay, we're good. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
Richard's
good.
the one that caught it. It was like Richard just stopped talking. And I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is the stream okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
No, yeah,
we're good now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
But,
froze for a little bit there, but we're good now.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
did
had
I
no idea
miss-
what was going on there for a second. Okay.
Probably my internet.
yeah.
Did I miss any of your guys' speculation? Last I heard was I
No.
said something about Patriot. That was it.
That was pretty much it, right?
That was more or less it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those are our big speculations, and then yeah, like it's probably gonna happen down the line. So I don't necessarily know how much like the blip stuff is gonna come into play if it's set like 3 years later or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that was the only other thing I said. Like, when is it going to come out? Like, maybe it's probably going to be at least a couple of years till it comes out, since it's just in development now.
I do think it's cool though that we're getting more stuff announced out of the film, like out of the shows, because we already have like all these films and shows that we know are coming. So the fact that now we're getting stuff directly from the shows is pretty cool.
What do we have? Like 25 projects or something confirmed for the next 3 years?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
Insane.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so this is very cool with the Captain America stuff, but we also now have like very cool stuff with Spider-Man happening.
What?
Oh yeah, in the other part of the streaming world.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one isn't confusing at all. So I'm sure this will be really quick. Yeah. No. So I guess Sony and Disney Plus have made some sort of deal where the Spider-Man movies are going to be able to show up on Disney Plus, and maybe even some of the other Sony movies.
Hulu.
That's not really clear yet. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's gonna. Spider-Man is kind of the biggest one MCU-wise, but the Sony library is gonna be available for like the Disney Plus and Hulu stuff. It looks
Disney Plus and Hulu. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I still don't think it's very clear on when the older Spider-Man movies are going to be coming to the service. Is that
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield ones.
Yeah, and then the older Tom Holland ones.
Yeah, right. I think like the thing we sort of know now is the new stuff in 2022. It's going to get dropped on Netflix for about 18
So that's where it gets weird. So the new Sony movies. So this I'm assuming applies to No Way Home.
I'm not 100%.
Well, this whole thing is a big question mark, so I'm just going to assume.
Yeah.
For conversation's sake, that No Way Home is included.
Right.
Then after that, it goes to Netflix for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to Disney Plus after the 18 months.
Or Hulu.
Or Hulu. But Spider-Man's going to go to Disney Plus. And,
we'd assume so with the rest of the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for them not to. But yeah, this is very confusing.
I wouldn't be shocked if some of the stuff was on, like some of the older stuff went to Netflix for about a year and then hopped over to Hulu or Disney Plus. That wouldn't be surprising to me. They've also said that there are things possibly showing up. I think they said like 2022 or late 2021. I might be misremembering that.
Well, the 2022 stuff was the new stuff.
No, right? I know. I'm talking about some of the older stuff.
I have no idea what's going on.
They haven't been 100% clear on when exactly that stuff will be dropping, but it wouldn't be shocking to me if some of that stuff, like maybe the Tobey Maguire stuff or Jumanji or something, would be dropping on like Hulu or something first, because it's not technically MCU.
But
obviously
X-Men's
Jumanji is not MCU at all. Yeah, but X-Men is Fox, which is owned by Disney.
Yeah, but Spider-Man is Marvel, which is all the Marvel movies are on Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why would they separate them?
It might be part of the deal that they can't put all the Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus right away. This is me talking.
I get it.
Anything that has to do with
I have no idea what their plan is. So
it could go on both. We're not 100% sure. But the thing to take out of that is the only MCU movie that won't be on Disney Plus in the future is Hulk.
Is the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, poor Hulk.
Wow.
So the thing to take out of it is we will get those.
I heard something like over a year ago that I think Disney was trying to acquire the rights to Universal or something, but I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if it was just a rumor.
They're not going to get those from Universal.
And it's just for Hulk.
I doubt it. Exactly. Like Hulk is the only. Actually, I think Namor also they might own at Universal. Yeah. Maybe.
That's a question mark as well.
Yeah.
Big question mark.
Yeah.
They might be able. Yeah, but if they're doing, like, I could see them doing what they do with Hulk with Namor where he pops up in other movies.
Yeah.
It's when it gets
for sure.
No, like the cool thing to know about it is we're getting like the MCU Spider-Man stuff. B, we're probably gonna get all the Sony Marvel stuff, which includes like the upcoming Morbius and Venom.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse for sure. In the older Spider-Man films, like we're gonna have all of that really obviously awesome Marvel content to watch on Disney Plus. So that's kind of the big takeaway from that.
You know what I was just thinking about? Just a completely random thought out of my head. Don't take this for as solid or anything. What if they're doing this because of No Way Home possibly making the other Spider-Man movies canon?
Oh, that's
within
it.
the MCU.
That's it for sure. I mean,
I think Sony's doing this because they're like, why not? I mean, think about it. Sony is killing it, and they don't even have a streaming service. They're
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll use Netflix, we'll use Disney Plus. They're like kind of the two ones that everyone's looking to be the biggest because Disney also has Hulu. Like, so yeah, sure, you can both have our content. We don't care. We're gonna get money from both of you for it.
Sony's just like, yeah, we're making money. We're good.
I mean, this also to me, what this says is like, remember last year with that whole big like thing that happened between Disney and Sony about Spider-Man maybe not being an MCU in the future. I don't think that's gonna be much of an issue anymore.
Yeah, this Disney deal goes on for a while, right? I mean, this is extended for quite a few years.
I think at least 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I don't know if I can.
I think I remember off the top of my head. I think it was either 2026 or 27, if I'm not mistaken.
I was thinking 28. So yeah, but a while, like for sure.
So yeah, that's like the two big takeaways is, yay, we get to watch Spider-Man on Disney Plus. So when we do our giant MCU marathons that everyone does, we get to actually include Spider-Man in it.
Love doing those.
And then B, it looks like Sony and Marvel maybe aren't going to be having the whole butting heads over Spider-Man thing that was really freaking everyone out last year.
Right.
Like, that's the big two takeaways for that from me.
Here's hoping.
No Hulk.
Sad Hulk. Although, we'll have to see what happens. I was just going to say, we'll have to see what happens closer to when She-Hulk comes out. Because maybe that could be their avenue to, kind of working Hulk back more into the MCU.
Yeah, I think they're going to use it. I think they're going to use She-Hulk for the Hulk lore and to have him like pop in and out. And I mean, he's been in it for a while too now. So I wouldn't be shocked if Ruffalo was like, I don't necessarily want to be center stage right now on this.
Maybe I'll take more of a supporting role.
That's me talking. That's not based on anything that we have like read or heard or anything like that.
For sure.
But that's just based on the fact that it seems like most of the original Avengers are kind of stepping down. Other than Thor kind of seems like
good for him.
Gonna do whatever.
Well, right, but then they're introducing Jane Foster Thor, so
I don't know that that's going to actually be long term. I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't.
Really?
Maybe a one-time thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this: Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder's really high on my list for like Phase 4 movies I want to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm crazy excited for Mighty Thor. I just would not be shocked if Natalie Portman doesn't necessarily want to do something crazy like a 9-film commitment.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Plus Hemsworth is like game. So why not?
Well, my question is why even do it then if she doesn't want to be Thor?
Well, if you think about the comic run of it, the reason it's so interesting and compelling is because she has cancer.
Okay.
Right.
So when she is Thor, when she doesn't have cancer, when she comes out of it, it's progressed and she's gotten worse. So I wouldn't necessarily be I'm sure they're going to work that in some way. So I wouldn't be shocked if this was sort of an end to her arc too.
I would say she's maybe got 2 or 3 movies tops. I wouldn't be shocked actually if this is maybe her last one.
Yeah, I would like to see her in more, but it wouldn't be a big surprise if
I don't think I necessarily agree. I don't see.
I like Jane Foster.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I really just movie wise. I mean I didn't really know what happened in the comics, but filmmaking wise, I don't see why you would introduce a new character like Mighty Thor just to get rid of them that movie or the next. I feel like she's definitely going to be like an Avenger level character.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily consider her a new character.
Well, no, but like it's like Sam Wilson, Captain America. Like how Sam Wilson became Captain America. It's like a new iteration of the character.
I see where you're coming from. I wouldn't necessarily compare it to that. I mean, this is all again. It's just us spitballing. Yeah. I would like to see her in multiple films. I just wouldn't be shocked if we didn't. Is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not holding anything like set in stone for her, but I mean, her comeback should be great regardless.
Yeah, and I'm really excited we're getting Mighty Thor because I didn't necessarily expect us to.
Yeah, and unless we got any more to say about that, we actually we're right on topic anyway for our next topic with Thor 4. Russell Crowe confirmed that he is playing Zeus in Love and Thunder, like Greek gods. Yeah, whoops. And here's the only thing I want to say about Russell Crowe playing Zeus in the MCU. It's time to get Henry Cavill in there to play Hercules, just for the connection to the DCEU, because that would be hysterical. And I think Henry Cavill could do a good job in that role.
Yeah, make him like what? Sorry, Bryce. What we wanted Superman to be.
Total. Yeah, oh my God. How satisfying would that be to see Henry Cavill get to redeem himself from Superman in the MCU? Oh my God.
How much of a dick move would it be for Marvel to do that?
No, I mean, I like Zack Snyder's Justice League, but you're not wrong, Caitlin. So, I mean, you're right. So.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
We just Marvel just steals all of the Justice League characters and makes them
once Justice they take Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder, if they have Zack Snyder direct a new movie,
oh Lord,
that's it.
Well, they're already
Knight Rider.
They're already gaining all the DC actors in Thor 4. They already got Christian Bale in there. Then they already have Russell Crowe. So
yeah,
that's Batman and Jor-El.
I think the way that, because Zeus in the comics, I'm 90% sure gets killed by the God Killer or the God. Yeah, so I think and we know it's a cameo. So my guess is we're gonna see him as Zeus essentially get murdered.
Oh my God.
So that wouldn't be shocking to me. Again, I'm don't get me wrong, leaks are cool and fun and stuff, but I'm it would have been so cool if we had gotten to see him as Asgard actor for whatever.
Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2.
That is my favorite Brad Pitt moment. I'm not even gonna lie.
That might be. I was just watching that on TV the other day, and I think that might be my favorite cameo of any kind.
I think so too. For me, yeah,
he was
hilarious.
I think they said he was in the movie for 8 frames. That was it.
A cup of coffee. Did you know that? It's amazing. They even Ryan Reynolds emailed him and asked him to be in the movie, and he's like, "Cup of coffee, dude." I'm that's amazing.
They got Brad Pitt to be in a movie for 2 seconds for a cup of coffee.
Not even 2 seconds. I mean, 8 frames. That's not even 1 second. So
right.
I mean,
yeah. It wasn't even long enough for everyone in the theater to catch it. People were like, "Was that?"
If you look away, you're gonna miss it.
Well, for me, it was what's that? And then it moves, and then it goes on. So it's just I didn't actually find out till after.
The wind can't kill what it can't see.
Yeah.
That whole scene in Deadpool 2 was just amazing. I can't wait for MCU Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what they're gonna do with
they
that.
Don't screw it up.
But anyway, so
I think Russell Crowe's Zeus can be cool. I think it is gonna be that he's tied into Gore. That just makes the most sense.
I
think it's weird and cool that we're gonna get Greek gods and Norse gods in the same movie. That's
a weird crossover.
Right?
It's a shame he'll only be in the movie for 8 frames, just like Brad Pitt, though.
I hope
that's how long he's in it for alive. After that, it's just zooming in on him being dead
on
for
a corpse.
A solid 2 minutes. Yeah.
On Russell corpse.
Nice.
Thank you.
The same as Superman, he died in that pretty quick too.
Oh yeah, he was only alive in that movie for what, 5 minutes?
Well, like father, like son.
So. Oh yeah. But how cool would Henry Cavill as Hercules be just for that?
Just, that alone would make it great. That alone would.
What if they stole The Rock?
Oh
he
my
played
God.
Hercules. The Rock played Hercules already.
Yeah.
No, I want The Rock to play the Thing just for the irony of it.
John Cena would be a good one too, but yeah.
Agreed. I want Cena.
Oh man.
He's DC too.
Yep, exactly. But oh my God, we get into a lot of fun tangents on this show.
With the toilet bowl helmet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Toilet man.
That is my favorite thing. You're wearing a toilet bowl on your head.
Suicide Squad's gonna be really good, but oh my God. But anyway, I mean, anything else to say about Russell Crowe?
like, that's hilarious. Like, how he blew that was hilarious.
Right?
Like, just in an interview, he's like, yeah, I'm playing Zeus and
Like,
Thor.
I'm going to be Zeus.
And everyone's like, wait, what? Like, that was great.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, it's kind of like Alfred Molina in Spider-Man. He's like, yep, I'm in Spider-Man. They're digitally de-aging me. I'm the same character from Spider-Man 2. It's like...
We all assumed that. No one was like, yeah, he's for sure Thor.
It's just like, here's the script.
Yeah, or like, this wasn't in our news wing, but JB Smoove saying he's going to be in No Way Home also after doing Far From Home. Same thing.
Yeah, like, I love that he's like, yeah, I'm playing Zeus. And literally, like, you could hear a pin drop. Everyone's like, you're doing what?
I'm sorry, what? Like, excuse me, could you say that again?
Wasn't it like a morning show or something? That is not where you're
something like that.
Scoop like that.
Right? Totally.
Like, here's how to make, like, macadamia nut pancakes. Also, he's Zeus in the next one.
Here's how to make a swan out of a towel. You know, like.
Oh Lord.
Now a huge MCU spoiler.
Yep. I'm sure they weren't expecting that.
Here's the script to Thor: Love and Thunder.
Hey, Tom Holland's not in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Right, sorry.
And how did you get the script?
Or is he?
Okay, I think that's all we got with that one.
Oh, we went on such a tangent, but that was so fun. Oh my god.
The next one is really quick. It looks like Hawkeye is wrapping up filming based on what the star Jeremy Renner has said, so that's cool. I'm really excited for Hawkeye. The fact that they look like they're done or pretty close to done is, good indicator that we're going to get it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know it's like, I think it's almost confirmed to be the last Disney Plus show of the year, so I'm assuming it won't come out till November, December or something. But what's also cool...
I'm assuming it's not going to be at the same time as Boba Fett, so I would guess November.
Probably. Or when Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, because that's December 17th.
Yeah, so I would just gut-wise be like, November feels like a better call.
Yeah, for sure. And then the only thing I'll say is that it seems like either all or almost all of the 2021 MCU projects are either done with filming or close to being done, which is super cool, just knowing that they're that far along.
Yeah, I think She-Hulk is filming.
Yeah, I think it just started.
Yep.
And then Miss Marvel is still going.
Yeah, I think Miss Marvel's either still going or like pretty close to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So no, I think that's like they're moving along, which is good.
Yeah, because Eternals is done, Shang-Chi's done, or Shang-Chi, sorry.
Been done.
Yeah, Eternals has been done for a while because that was supposed to be like the second movie after Black Widow.
Spoiler: Black Widow is also done.
Yeah,
I would hope so. It comes out in in 2 months. Jesus, they probably finished filming for that movie. Like over a year and a half ago.
Right. I'm so excited for like interviews on that because it's gonna be like, what was your favorite moment? They're gonna be like, I don't remember.
It was so long ago. And that's not just for the MCU. That's like all these movies that finished filming before everything shut down and now they're coming out.
What's your favorite memory? Hugs.
Hugs. No masks.
Right. No, I'm really excited for Hawkeye though. I love the actress that they have played Kate Bishop.
Steinfeld,
yeah, she's great. She's been in like Pitch Perfect, like I think the second and third one, not as good as the first, but she was in that. She was in the Apple Plus series Dickinson, where she plays Emily Dickinson. That was actually, I think, kind of part of why it was up in the air a little bit, because those
for filming for that, yeah.
So like she's got comedy chops, she's got dramatic chops, and I like based on some of like the leaked footage and stuff, it looks like she can hold her own with action.
And a couple other cool things. I think it was one of our exclusives that said that she was either in talks or confirmed to play her. And me and her are actually from the same hometown in California, which is kind of a cool little connection for me there. So
you're gonna get her on the show.
Yeah,
right?
Richard's best friends with Haley Steinfeld, so she's gonna be a guest on It's All Connected.
Do not get that wrong. I have never met her. I've never talked to her or anything. We're just
Haley
from the
Steinfeld
same place,
at
which
Richard's wedding.
breeds a lot of famous people.
Tell us in the super chat how much you want her on the show, and we'll make Richard have a really awkward phone call with her parents. It'll be great.
Yep.
Yes.
Because we can't do anything if I'm not doing something awkward.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the show.
Yeah. So
Yep,
if you want
pretty
Haley
much.
Steinfeld on the
Yeah,
on
we're
the
vibing
show,
for the last 4 months.
be sure to send over a super chat. By the way,
Please know we're
before we get
joking.
in trouble, that was a joke.
Thank God this
We're
is just
not
my
going to be able
life
to
in
get Haley
general.
Steinfeld
Like,
on
I'm
the
just
show.
used to. I'm
So if
used
you're
to
going to
being
send a
the
super
one that's
chat
embarrassed.
thinking that she's going to be on the show, don't, because she won't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really excited to see her. I'm really excited to see what they do with the Ronin storyline because like they can't just drop it, you know, like that feels like.
Well, they've teased it's going to be there, so.
Yeah, and like that feels like why he's training her, you know, to take over the mantle.
Right,
for sure.
Plus, like the dog, the golden retriever.
Yeah, of course. He's going to be the biggest star in MCU history.
Yeah.
Lucky the dog.
Probably going to be the villain.
Oh, God.
Yes.
That. If there's anything that Hollywood would never do, they would never make a golden retriever the villain of anything.
The Skrull golden retriever.
Taika Waititi or James Gunn would. Just
Secret Invasion, we see Lucky turn into a Skrull, and then it's like,
I don't actually know if that's true. By the way, it's just that they're the two most random directors I can think of, so that's why I brought them up. But maybe not. I don't know.
And we know that Hawkeye already has a spinoff coming with Echo.
Yeah, totally. That should be good.
Yeah. So no, I'm excited. I think I'm really like, you know, whenever they finish filming something, I'm always glad because I'm like, you know, post is gonna take a while with the MCU, so really.
Oh yeah, always does. Yeah, and especially this is exciting too because this is Jeremy Renner's first solo project in the MCU. He's gonna be the last original Avenger to get one. I mean, I know it's taken forever for Black Widow to get one, but he's gonna be the last one. So.
She also had to die to get one.
Yeah.
Well, there's that too.
So. Yeah. They initially were going to do a movie for him, but I'm actually excited that we're getting a series because I feel like we haven't had enough time to explore his character anyways, and to only take 2 hours to try and get to know his character while also setting up the next Hawkeye doesn't feel like enough time.
I agree there.
Because he's really felt like, I mean, you made the joke from the Honest Trailers thing that Endgame made him what? You're like...
Yeah, 3rd or 4th least favorite Avenger.
Yeah, because like really before that, you're like, he even says, I think, in the first Avenger movie, he's like, yeah, cool, I got bow and arrow against aliens. Like...
He says it's an Age of Ultron. The city's flying, we're fighting an army of robots, and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Yeah, like he's been very interesting, like in his relationship with Wanda, like that I didn't expect. Like things like obviously his relationship with Natasha, and then there have been things that people were not huge fans of, like I don't know, the farm thing.
Yeah,
that sort of became a thing.
Is that an issue in that movie?
It might have been. I mean, to be fair, there were many.
They literally made fun of it in Arrow.
Wow, in a completely separate universe.
On the CW Arrow.
To be fair, I feel like the movie had other issues beyond Hawkeye lives on a farm with his secret family.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the lesser issues.
It also gave us Chris Evans breaking a log in half with his bare hands. Like, who does that?
That was the only good part of Age of Ultron. Sorry.
Oh, I love the end of that scene. Don't take from my pile.
Hey, you guys remember whenever they tried to make Natasha and Bruce a thing?
No. I have no memory of that. I don't think that happened. I think that was a mass hallucination.
Sucks. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. Anyway,
anyway, so I think that's.
I think what I was just gonna say is I'm glad he's getting 6 hours instead of 2.
Yeah, I think the Hawkeye series is going to be a really good way. I don't know if it's going to be his last series in the MCU or whatever. I don't know how long he's going to continue, but it's going to be great that he's getting this kind of solo project.
Yeah. I also like that one of the Young Avengers is solidly getting set up because we've obviously teased them in the last 2. And like Quantumanium, obviously it's going to have Cassie Lang. But this
we got Miss Marvel as well.
Yeah. But in like Miss Marvel and Hawkeye, it's really like, okay, here's where we're building the foundation, not just kind of teasing the
Would we assume that Echo is probably going to be in the Young Avengers too, whenever that becomes a thing?
Maybe.
I think it depends on her relationship with Kate Bishop.
Good point. Yeah.
Also, Richard, another character I think it could be in Young Avengers is Ironheart, Riri Williams.
Oh yeah. That's a solid transition. Sometimes we're really good with the transitions, and other times we're just not.
To be fair, it was there.
It was. I'll give you that. But anyway, so moving on from the Hawkeye stuff to Ironheart, this is super exciting because this is some of the first stuff we've heard about Ironheart really since it was announced at Disney Investor Day. So a couple things about it. They've tapped the head writer for the series. His name is Chinaka Hodge, who he wrote the yeah, wait. Oh. No, I think check on that for me because I want to be sure of that.
Hodge is a screenwriter, poet, playwright, and educator. Her past television credits include.
Okay. My bad. My mistake. So, so her biggest thing was Snowpiercer on TNT, which is I think it's second season, if I'm not mistaken, maybe third. Yeah.
It's a show that's on.
Something like that. But yeah, so she's going to be writing it, and then it's also confirmed to be 6 episodes, just like Falcon Winter Soldier, just like most of the Disney Plus series. Now, the only cast member we know so far is that her name is Dominique Thorne. She's playing Riri Williams. But this series should be something really cool, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Don Cheadle show up.
I agree. I'd kind of be more shocked if he didn't, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hoping because, I mean, in the comics, she has an AI of Tony Stark. I don't think we're going to get that. But
I don't think so.
It'd be cool if we got, like, Friday, because, again, I don't think we can get Jarvis either, because that's kind of gone. But if we got Friday, that'd be a cool connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
No, I'm really excited.
Spider-Man's AI? What was
Karen.
Karen? Is that what it was?
It was Karen in Homecoming and then Edith in Far From Home, but that was just the glasses.
Yeah.
Yes. Was it Karen or Sharon? No, Sharon.
It was Karen. He named it Karen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, he was going to name it Liz, but then that was a little too creepy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! But no,
I still love that movie.
I'm really.
That's a great movie.
He's bored at times. No instant kill.
No, I don't want to kill anybody.
No, I'm really excited for Ironheart for a number of reasons. I mean, it may be clear from this in the watch along. I'm a Tony Stark fan.
Oh yeah.
So, right. So
like Tony Stark?
Yeah, a little bit. I think he's cool. So the fact that we're getting to really see his legacy with Armor Wars and Ironheart, I'm really interested in. Plus, Ironheart is just like a super cool story, and the fact that we're getting woman as the showrunner, I think, is important because you can actually have the story feel authentic in that capacity.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I mean, again, we don't know a lot about this show other than the source material, but I think it'll be really interesting. I think it'll be cool. I'm hoping the 6-episode thing, which seems to be their kind of go-to with the hour-long show, so I'm also assuming this is going to be an hour-long show. I'm hoping that is less of a thing that we are less than thrilled about after COVID.
Yeah, for sure. And also one more bit of news on that I forgot to mention earlier is that it doesn't start filming yet, but the writer's room is starting next month. So I know it's supposed to come out at some point next year. They haven't given an official date yet, but I'd look for filming to start probably sooner rather than later. I
mean, they've been pretty quick turnaround-wise, I would think, because like if Hawkeye just finished filming and it's supposed to come out this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Pretty impressive with that. So yeah, that's not shocking to me, and I also don't think it's one of those things where we're going, that's not possible.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's definitely possible.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm really excited. I think Ironheart's going to be awesome. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I
have no reason to believe it won't be. So
yeah.
I completely agree. I mean, I love the way things ended with Tony Stark in Endgame. I think that was a solid ending for him, a solid send-off. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. It doesn't seem like he's definitively closed the door on it, but it doesn't seem like he's like amped up to return.
I could see some sort of cameo where it's like a video or something of him, like,
or maybe Black Widow or something.
I think he's in Black Widow, but I think it's like past footage.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I remember reading, like, last year.
But with terms of Ironheart, I think this is a great way to continue Tony's legacy. The way, not even like the same way that Falcon's continuing Cap's legacy, because he was, Cap's really good friend for most of the Infinity Saga.
It's like a not evil John Walker way.
Totally. Like
Yeah.
a good John Walker. I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
No, really,
and plus,
go ahead.
This is my last thing. Plus, they said she's supposed to be one of the smartest people in the MCU, so I can't wait to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hope we see her with Shuri at some point. That'd be cool.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it really feels like legacy is a really big theme of Phase 4 and the post-Infinity Saga. So the fact that we're getting that in ways that are not simply like Black Widow after she dies is passing on the torch to someone that she's obviously close with. Sam, who was close with Steve, is becoming Captain America. Hawkeye is training the next person. But we're actually seeing like how these heroes affected the larger MCU world of like Miss Marvel's a good example too. It's not someone that like knows Carol, but has obviously been impacted by her. So I think us seeing that and building the world out in that way is really, really cool.
Totally.
I think that's our big Marvel news for today.
Yep. Before we move on to DC, just a real quick reminder that we do have a super chat feature on the channel. It does incredibly help out the channel and our show. And I believe Richard said this one. I think I'm 110% sure that he said this to me.
Don't do this. Please don't do this.
That he will actually do the next story while singing if you super chat. So.
While singing in his Batman Lego voice.
Yeah.
Batman
I'm out.
Singing. It's down. You have to sing. Where are you going? Lego singing for the next story.
Lord. My musical degree finally coming into use.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah,
so
there's a reason
if you
we
want to
played that
see
card.
Richard put his degree to good use, definitely be sure to send a super chat our way. But
and I want to be clear, it was in music business, not performance. So there is a reason for that.
Too many times, it is now locked in that you're musical. That was a poor decision on your part.
Yep.
Also, if in the super chat you not only put questions but suggestions for voices that Richard should do, that is another excellent option.
Now that I'm not nearly as against.
Really good at SpongeBob.
And he'll sing in the voices, obviously.
Mickey Mouse.
I think you just did Mickey Mouse right there, dude.
Wait, what?
With your voice cracking.
What?
So that might be your turn to do that, Bryce.
I actually do.
You want to get
really
some DC stuff here before we get way too off track for our own good?
Okay, fine.
DC, it is off track.
Sorry. I guess you guys missed out on my Mickey
Bryce,
Mouse
it's a cool new logo to show off. Let's
I was literally gonna give you my best Mickey Mouse impression, but I guess not anymore.
How dare you?
Sorry, but now we got DC rolling in here. It's pretty epic. We've got some smaller news, nothing too crazy, but some news nonetheless. And
there is no small news here. It's all connected.
Oh,
as you can tell,
yes,
we
absolutely.
dropped the Hawkeye wrapping filming into building it into Ironheart.
Yeah,
no small news.
Right. No, we got some good DC stuff though.
Yeah, it's like DC TV and then some actual comic stuff.
Yeah, which we don't get into a lot of the show.
Pretty cool. So, Caitlin, you got some Doom Patrol?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about some of the Doom Patrol casting last week. We got a little bit more. We have some new information casting-wise, and we're a little clearer on what I talked about last week. So last week, I talked about the fact that we are going to see the Dead Boy Detectives on Doom Patrol. First off, Doom Patrol, weird, wacky, crazy, and I love it. I also love Legends of Tomorrow, which is also weird, wacky, and crazy, so this shouldn't be a shock.
You're probably going to love What If when it comes out.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Just give me the weirdness of superheroes and I'm golden.
Right.
So we are having like some cool guest stars, because it is confirmed that they will be guest stars, and I wasn't 100% sure of that last week, with Ty Tennant and Edwin Payne playing the Dead Boy Detectives. We have a little bit more information on that. So Ty Tennant, I'm sorry, he is playing Edward Payne. So Ty Tennant is going to guest star as Edward Payne. He's a teenager who was like, he's been dead since 1916. It was accidentally sent to hell due to a clerical error.
Oh my god. Wow.
You know, as you do.
Whoops.
Wow. Whoops.
And then Right? And Sebastian Croft will be playing a ghost named Charles Roland. And he tries to stay chipper, but is haunted by his death from 1989. So we have those two, which are going to be very cool. And then to round it out, Madeline Horcher will be playing Crystal Palace, a sarcastic teen and psychic medium that works with Edwin and Charles because they rescued her from demonic possession. So that to me totally fits Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
That sounds very Doom Patrol to me.
Right? Excellent little like batch of teenagers to come in and do some crazy weird detective work. And they actually they are creative in Neil Gaiman, and I love Neil Gaiman, so anything he's like bring into any sort of show I'm always excited about. But there was actually a crossover between Doom Patrol and the Dead Boy Detectives in the comics at one point. So I'm curious to see if they're going to pull from that, especially since Dorothy, who was introduced in season 2 of Doom Patrol, is a part of that storyline. It wouldn't be a shock, but also Doom Patrol is weird, so they might just be putting it in to put it in.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a crossover between Doom Patrol and Titans in the TV shows, but I guess they're in an alternate universe now, so that didn't matter. Sorry,
that
whoops.
Really cool.
Sorry.
And I liked the way before I talk about the rest of the casting news, I liked the way Negative Man was introduced in the Titans episode of Doom Patrol, because he's much more like funny and snarky. And he's much more broody and like depressing in Doom Patrol. Still super fun, but he's like less funny in the show.
Like, did the guys at Doom Patrol just see what they were doing over at Titans and just said, all right, we're gonna dip. See ya. Like what happened there? Like,
to be fair, wouldn't you?
I mean, as much as I want to love Titans, I would probably leave. Yeah. Although I feel like I would make the show better. I feel like
Bryce the character.
Yeah. No, not me as a character. Me.
Bryce
as
kills Nightwing and takes over.
No, I would never do that. Nightwing is my favorite comic book character, period.
Is Titans version?
Yeah. No, not the Titans version, but
there you go.
Oh my god.
I could not.
Wow.
Well, I don't have black hair. I can't play Dick Grayson. I'm also 5'4" and like 100 pounds. So
when did that come up? I have never heard that.
Well, last episode, but I think it got muted out. So I think.
Oh no! She made sure to get it in when we were.
Well, right. She brought it up again, didn't she?
No, I don't think that happened.
Yeah.
I think I just said Bryce.
You know, the funny thing
Spider-Man, right?
is that Caitlin makes fun of me for how short I am, but I had to have brought it up myself. Because there's no way that she should be able to know how tall I am.
100% on you. It's the same thing where Richard is like, I have a music business degree. You've said music school like 6 times. What do you think we're going to hold on to?
Yep.
100% on you guys, man.
From now on, I think we will just refer to Richard as Maestro. I think.
Oh, God. Please don't.
The music man.
Maestro Nevins. Oh,
nope.
Man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but there's some more casting news about Titans before we go.
About Doom Patrol.
This show is going to turn into It's All Connected the roast.
Yeah.
That's just what it's going to be from here on out.
Except Caitlin never gets roasted. I don't think we've ever been able to actually get Caitlin back.
Like,
right.
Duck and move. I can turn a roast into a compliment. Thank you very much.
See, there you go. That
but
is
anyway,
actually a very good quality.
It's a good skill. Yeah. Good skill to have. Yeah.
We're also going to get another new group of characters with the Sisters of the Dada. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Okay.
Yes, the Sisterhood of the Dada or Dada. I don't know.
Dada. It's Dada.
It's based on the art style. So I don't know the art style very well, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's not some weird. I mean, it's weird, but it's not some creepy weird thing. So that's gonna introduce Mika Joe Parker as Malcolm. He's a thoughtful soul who would rather be invisible than face the unforgiving world. So fun invisible character, as kind of like
That's
the
Doom
Brad Pitt
Patrol.
thing we're talking about.
Oh yeah, like Vanisher.
Wynn Everett has signed on to play a charming and poetic suspected terrorist named Shelley Byron, aka the Fog. Mile Musenden will play Lloyd Jefferson, aka Frenzy, scarred and tattooed mask sculptor capable of extreme devastation. Anita Calathera was confirmed to star as Holly Mackenzie, or Sleepwalk, a lighthearted ne'er-do-well who should never be woken from her naps. I can relate to that.
I hear that.
And then Gina Hiraizumi will debut as Sashiko, aka Quiz, an enigmatic germaphobe in possession of an awe-inspiring powers. And they will be the group known as the Sisterhood of the, I'm going to say Data, I don't know. And they'll be recurring throughout season 3 of Doom Patrol. And I actually think in the comic hood, it's the Brotherhood. So that's a really interesting
change there.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. Not shocking, because I feel like they've really played into that kind of stuff with the DC TV, where they're not necessarily going full on the comics. I mean, look at The Flash for a good example of that. Iris West and Joe West, freaking amazing in the show, and in the comics initially Caucasian.
Yeah.
So I like the switch. I'm really excited for like these batch of new characters. Plus, we've got another one and who I'm forgetting, but like there's a lot of new characters coming to Doom Patrol, which is always exciting because seeing these weirdos trying to interact with other people is just great fun because they're not great at it.
For sure.
They're really not great at it. But yeah, like I said last week, Doom Patrol got their season finale kind of cut off because of COVID, so they ended on the penultimate episode. Huge cliffhanger, so I'm sure we're going to see how that pans out in the next season, and I can't wait. You guys are going to have to get caught up before it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially Bryce, so when I make fun of Titans and talk about Doom Patrol is better, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've only seen 3 episodes of Doom Patrol, and I already know it's better.
Well, at least there's that.
So, yeah.
Well,
no,
Doom
you don't have to
Patrol-
convince me.
Doom Patrol has the same trend of like Pierce Brosnan being Dr. Fate. Doom Patrol has Timothy Dalton as Chief, so you got like some James Bond action in there.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, I think I just sold Richard.
All right. Well, we got to get more James Bond people into superhero films. So
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got enough Sherlock Holmes people. We got to get some James Bond people.
Yeah, we've already got Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, Jude Law.
All the Watsons, yeah.
All the Watsons, yeah, exactly.
Every Watson.
Lucy Liu. We just need Lucy Liu, and she's over
Right?
at DC at the moment.
Yeah, she is. She's going to be in Shazam, too.
To be fair, if Marvel follows the trend, they will grab her later, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every
Plus,
major actor will be in the MCU at some point.
Right?
Or the DCEU. Or both.
No, the MCU for sure. Like,
Yeah.
because the MCU is actually going to go on forever.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the DCU will end at some point, and probably in 2022.
Well, you're considering the reboot with Flash to be the end of the DCEU, aren't you?
I think it. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of the DCEU, and then they're going to do something new.
Well,
so
we'll
it's going to
see.
be a new cinematic universe, but it won't be the DCEU.
Right. So
Yeah.
That's
case,
speculation.
in that case, I would agree, but then I wouldn't be shocked to see everyone show up in the new DC universe in some way.
Yeah.
Plus, you got
if they
Star
do it
Wars
right,
too.
if they. So,
Plus, you have Star Wars.
As long as they don't screw that one up as well. Okay.
But we got some cool Superman news on the comic book side that Bryce wants to share.
So, this is something that I've kind of wanted them to do for a while. Because, we kind of had, like, what would it be called? The Jay Garrick era. What was that called in the comics? The Bronze era, or the, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But they had that era with, like, Jay Garrick, Alan Scott, like, those kinds of characters. But then they moved on to other characters, like Hal Jordan and Barry Allen. And now it seems like DC is maybe doing that with a new era of heroes, because DC Comics has announced that there will be a Jonathan Kent Superman title where he will be Superman. So this book is going to be called Superman, Son of Kal-El, and he will be the main Superman in that book. So
Wow.
I'm
Nice.
sure Clark will still have his own book, probably.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine. I mean, because this isn't Action Comics, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Action Comics will still be Clark Kent, but they are giving John Kent his own book as the main Superman.
That's big.
So I think that's really cool. I'm hoping that this kind of ushers in a new era of characters, because Marvel has done this already. They made the new era of Marvel characters with like Riri Williams, Miles Morales, Sam Wilson, Kamala Khan.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're starting to
DC
see it in the MCU.
Yeah, and DC
Exactly.
doesn't really have that yet. And I think it's long overdue that they kind of bring in some new characters to be these new iterations of these heroes. So I think this is a really cool move on DC's part. A long time coming, but a cool move nonetheless.
Well, and they kind of tested the water with those DC comics earlier in the year, right? Where you had the new Wonder Woman and Batman and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So this
but
is
the ones that were almost getting made into shows.
Yeah. So this is kind of a continuation of that. So I'm hoping they actually go full in on this. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it could be very cool. It also has the potential to tie into Superman and Lois down the line, because even though Jonathan Kent isn't actually the kid with powers at the moment, it would not be a shock for him to eventually get them or have them manifest.
That could definitely happen.
Sure.
So yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity to grow the Arrowverse as well, because like Richard said, they were already trying to do that with characters that, like, before the comic even came out, the show was in development, and sadly it's not going forward.
Yeah.
But this would be a way.
An interesting one, Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
Like that one would have been really interesting to see.
For sure.
And I mean, Superman and Lois is hugely about family and legacy, so to have that really come into play in season, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or something could be really cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to set it up now and see it like 2-3 years from now. Yeah. In the films and TV shows.
Just don't do it like they did with I don't even remember the character's name anymore. Oliver's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, in Arrow.
Do any of you actually remember her? I can't even remember the character's name. Is that what her name was?
Mia, because his mom's name was Moira, and they made it not Moira because that's a weird name for a kid in the 21st century.
I guess.
Sorry to anyone named Moira.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well,
for sure.
all of the Moira fans have unsubscribed.
I love the show.
It's an uncommon 21st century name.
Yeah, and I also, in the context of the show, understood why they didn't necessarily want to name her after Oliver's mom, who, while a good mom in the end, definitely did some sketchy stuff throughout the show.
Oh, yeah.
So having the name Moira Queen hanging over your head when you're like 2 might not be the best thing.
A little daunting.
Yeah. So that is why I said not the best name, not because of the actual name.
The legacy.
Yes, the legacy of it. 100%.
Whatever happened to that backdoor pilot?
That died really hard. That got killed by.
No, I watched it.
In a
it wasn't
fiery plane crash.
It wasn't great. Yeah, Mia.
It wasn't
Queen.
awful though either.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. It would have been fine, but it wasn't good either.
Think,
like.
Yeah.
Part of it is I am so tired of like evil Laurel Lance or whatever. I was like,
yeah.
Sorry, I have to go on this mini rant before we move on to the next.
Go ahead.
Thing.
Go for it.
Oliver bringing back Tommy and having Earth One Laurel be dead is the meanest thing ever.
What? I didn't even catch what? Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God.
Sorry, you're a widower and you have to live with a doppelganger who doesn't love you, and she's gonna exist in the world instead of Earth One Laurel. Why would you do that?
Wow.
Yeah, that is messed up. I didn't even think of that. You're totally right.
Oliver did a lot of really sketchy stuff when he died, including the fact that, like, Star City supposedly had no crime for 20 years, which means either all the criminals got, like, zapped out of existence, so he essentially killed a bunch of people. He shoved them off on other, like, cities, or he replaced them with alternate universe versions that weren't criminals. No way in that world does it go, there's no criminals just 'cause.
There's no way that any of that ends well.
Yeah, like Oliver Queen is like, I fixed my city. I'm like, in sort of a messed up way, but I guess.
Oh
It's like
my
what
God.
everybody says about like the MCU and the DCEU. You're like, we saved the city. City's in destruction.
I mean, that's Arrow.
Batman vs Superman? Question mark.
To be fair,
Yeah, Batman v Superman for sure.
to be fair, Oliver Queen never actually won as Arrow. Like, I think the
Yeah.
only time the city was destroyed and it wasn't like legitimately his fault was the first season, because it was
Yeah.
like Malcolm Merlin was just doing this and Oliver didn't have all the information. But every time after that the city got destroyed, it's like, oh, this is a direct cause of something I did. Whoops.
Whoops.
So yeah, a lot of the stuff Oliver did at the finale was kind of sketchy, but also like he died, so it was sad.
Yeah. And then speaking of the Lances, you got another trailer to talk about, right, Caitlin? Is that
Yes, as I said, I love the weird and wacky DC TV, and we got some Doom Patrol news earlier, but now we have Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow Season 6 is premiering this Sunday, May 2nd, and we got a new trailer, and it looks insane because it's Legends. They're going to have an animated episode, people. They're going to have an animated episode.
Are you serious?
90s Disney. Yes.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yep.
That's not a joke.
Nope.
Wow.
It looks like 90s
I'm watching
Disney
some
style
Legends of
animated.
Tomorrow tonight. I'm not even kidding.
100%.
I'm getting
yes.
caught up on that show now.
Wow.
That is
Animated
awesome.
episode. They're going to have a Constantine-centric episode. Plus, you have time-traveling aliens. Like, what?
Yeah.
Come on.
Super comic booky.
Yes, 100%. It looks like it is going to be a blast. We actually saw in the new trailer when Ava recruits the new character, and it's because, like, I guess she noticed Sarah got kidnapped. She didn't during the finale, but now she's like, my girlfriend got abducted by aliens. I need your help.
Right.
It's a pretty good line to get someone to come on your magic space-time ship.
Seriously.
Your magic space time machine.
Wow.
So, yeah, I am beyond excited. It looks like it is going to be classic Legends craziness with a dash of, I guess, Disney insanity too now.
Yeah, that sounds like it's a lot. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Right.
And the trailer also makes it seem like we are going to be returning to the ever popular, like old school Western town that we tend to pop into almost every season, it seems like. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Oh man, it's gonna be a blast. I mean, it's Legends, so I'm excited. The trailer is like another, just like a little bit more information. Nothing like hugely major, other than like, oh my god, there's an animated episode. What is happening? And yeah, it's coming back on Sunday, so I will for sure be having a mini like excited moment next week when we talk about DC. It will not be a full breakdown like we have been doing with the Marvel shows, but I will for sure start DC going, Legends was amazing. This is what happened.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
big DC news. As I said, no news is small news.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
speaking of recaps, we are going to have next week. We got to get you guys ready for Bad Batch.
Before we go on to Star Wars, one last quick reminder about the Super Chat feature. It really does help out the channel a ton. So if that's something that you're able to do, definitely feel free.
Please join us there.
What are we going to do? I got to think of something off the spot. Come on. What are we going to do? Well,
Bryce is going to do the Macarena.
Huh?
Bryce is going to do the Macarena.
Oh, the Macarena. I thought you said like Bryce is going to play an ocarina. I was like, I used to have an ocarina.
What is an ocarina?
Like from Zelda? You don't know what an ocarina is? Like the musical instrument?
I don't think we have time to go into that.
If you looked it up, I think you would know what it was.
Like a flute? You were doing the motion of the flute. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Bryce will play the ocarina flute.
No, I don't have it anymore. I broke it.
Bryce will airplay the ocarina flute thing
while coming along.
I'll make the sound effects. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
And we do have a little bit of Star Wars news before we get to the Bad Batch prep.
Yes, for sure.
But before we get to that, Bryce, can you play our awesome Star Wars
I'm way ahead of
transition?
You.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah. It's kind of cool having like these nice little transitions between all of our different topics this time around.
I made that myself, actually. Just that's a joke, by the way. It's literally the Star Wars intro from like Mandalorian and Rise of Sky, like the new Disney intro.
Oh, like the cool helmet thing. I love that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Solid.
I wish
I made
like,
it myself. Disney had me do that, and now I'm just reusing it for It's All Connected. So.
Again, clearly a joke. Don't take us seriously on that.
No.
I was
it'd be
serious.
really
No, I'm
cool
kidding.
if there was a way to have like your shirt, like almost have it where it could change all the helmets. Obviously, it's impossible, but I just love that helmet transition so much.
If
Yeah,
I wore
that's
a
pretty
green
solid.
shirt, I could probably do it. No, I'm
But
serious. I could probably do it.
we'll have to see. But anyways,
no,
so we got
we will not see. But yeah.
So we got some
Bryce,
Obi-Wan casting.
Yeah, Bryce, I think we have some cool like Obi-Wan casting news because they announced what they said was the full cast, but obviously it looks like we're gonna get some more surprises.
So yeah, we've got a new cast member coming on. Maya Erskine, is that what it is?
Erskine, probably.
Yeah.
From the
I would
one
say
show on Hulu.
I'd say Pen 15 is how I would
the Pen 15
That's
show
how I'm saying it.
on Hulu.
She was also in, I think, that movie Scoob, if anyone watched that.
Yeah. So
that movie just breaks my heart. Sorry.
I didn't watch it.
So yeah, obviously
I didn't either.
Plot details are still under wraps, so we have no idea who she's gonna play or what she's gonna be doing in the show. But yeah, just some pretty not small, but some casting news. It's just we don't know a lot about it yet. But definitely cool to see some cast members filling up the Obi-Wan cast. I'm really looking forward to that show.
I think we know
there's not really a lot here. It's just she was cast and that was it.
I think we know she's gonna have like an arc of, they said, at least 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean that doesn't really hint at anything specific for us, because it's cool because it means it's not just a one-off character.
Yeah.
And she's clearly got comedy chops based on Pen 15.
Yeah. That's
So
just a weird name for a show. I don't know why anybody would ever. I've never seen the show. I've only seen commercials. I don't know what the show's about. But it's just like that doesn't seem like a very good
I think
name
it's
for a
about
show.
like middle school or high school or something.
So then
Something
now
like
it
that.
really doesn't seem like a good name for a show.
But she should be good in this
that.
show at least.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what little we do know is it takes place, like, I think 10 years after Revenge of the Sith and 9 before A New Hope. So it's kind of that interesting sweet spot that should be cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, having another character, like, cast member announced is always fun, and it is another indication that even though they technically announced the full cast, we're obviously going to see more people.
Yeah, and I got to say, coming from like a newer Star Wars fan, like somebody who's really getting into all of it kind of now, I think the Obi-Wan show might be the one I'm actually most excited for. I mean, besides the fact that it's got a killer cast, I mean, this is going to be a really cool story to see for Obi-Wan because, like you said, it fills in the gap between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. We haven't seen that. We're getting Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader back with Hayden Christensen. That should be pretty cool. I'm really excited to see what he does in like a non-George Lucas directed kind of format. I mean, I think he'll flourish in that. Hopefully,
non-melodrama.
Yeah. I don't like sand.
Hey, I will still defend Revenge of the Sith to my grave.
I'll say it's the best of the prequel trilogy. No questions asked.
And it's better than every sequel.
I know.
But
trust me.
Well, and you were mentioning how stacked the cast is. It was like I could watch an Obi-Wan show where Ewan McGregor was the cast, and that was it. And I would still.
Ewan McGregor is like he'll kill it.
Absolutely.
It could be Ewan McGregor watching paint dry, and I would still love the show. So yeah, I am so excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like this show's gonna be awesome.
And Richard, you mentioned we haven't like seen a lot of stuff in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. We've seen some stuff. I know you're not on Rebels yet.
Right, for sure.
So we have that, you have Solo, you obviously have stuff like
Rogue One.
Will, because that's before Rogue One. Yeah.
For sure.
And then like I'm sure there's gonna be more animated stuff. Speaking of the Darth Vader, we actually had a tease from Matt Lanter, who voiced, I guess, Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. That he said he's been a part of some Lucasfilm animation stuff that he can't talk about but he teased that we're gonna see Anakin again. And that to me indicates it's like not video games, it's actually Lucasfilm animation that's cool. And the fact that he can't talk about it, that could mean it's not necessarily Bad Batch.
Well, I don't know, because we as of right now we don't know that Vader's gonna show up in Bad Batch, so I think that still would be something he wouldn't be able to talk about.
You're also assuming he would voice Vader though, because it's not like not in Rebels. In Rebels, like it was James Earl Jones.
But what about Clone Wars?
He wasn't Vader. It was pre-Revenge of the Sith.
Did he not have lines as Vader?
No, remember? Because we never saw him as Vader.
Yeah, we did.
He went off
at the very end. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, but he didn't have
Richard.
a line. He didn't have a line.
Yeah,
when I get there, I will confirm it.
Yeah.
But, we didn't see him as Vader because he didn't have a line.
Right. Okay, so that was my question. He didn't have any lines. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, no, there's potential for it to be a flashback, or maybe him as like Vader, like early on before the voice modulator is really in effect. But he did if he's working on stuff, there is the potential for more animated Star Wars stuff to be coming down the pipeline, which I think would be very, very cool.
Yeah. No, the animated Star Wars stuff has been solid.
Yeah. It's not something that as many Star Wars fans are as aware of. I only watched all of it like last May. Richard, I know you're going through it now, and Bryce, you've watched it.
I watched it as a kid, so.
Yeah, so it's something that is not necessarily like the mainstream as well known. I like that the live action stuff is really bringing it into relevance, because I think the characters introduced are really cool and really interesting. And even if you don't go back and watch all the animated series, you get to meet these characters that are already pretty well established and like have really built into well-rounded characters.
I gotta say, even for all the ups and downs that Star Wars has, as somebody who's going through the animated stuff right now, it's pretty impressive that they can make a story where the animated stuff actually ties in with the live action stuff. Because even like as connected as the MCU has been, they've never done anything animated. We'll see what happens with What If, but
even that doesn't feel as tied in.
Exactly. It very well may not be. And I do think that's super impressive that Star Wars is able to, combine these animated shows with what's happened in the live action stuff.
Yeah, it very weirdly feels like, because Bryce, you mentioned this when we were talking Falcon Winter Soldier, like that feels almost like additive to Cap 4. In like Clone Wars, it's very additive to the prequels. Rebels, it's very additive to the like Rebellion and the original like trilogy. So it's not like, if you don't watch Clone Wars, you won't understand prequels. A little bit, but that's more story problems than anything else.
Yeah. That's the prequel's fault.
Yeah. But it's not like if you don't watch Rebels, you're not going to understand the original trilogy, because that wouldn't make sense. The original trilogy is like the original trilogy. So it's very cool that you have this aspect of it that is very additive and very like something that makes it better, but is not necessarily, if you don't watch this, you will not understand, because it really feels like Marvel is playing into that as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there's actually, we mentioned it already, but we've got some new Star Wars animated content coming.
There's a new animated Star Wars show coming out?
There is, Bryce.
Really?
That's Bryce's thing is what?
Half the time it's a real reaction and half the time it's not. So you'll just never know.
I will say that has been in this show alone. We've had both.
Yeah. Well, like that Legend of Tomorrow thing, like I literally had no idea.
Yes.
You legit had no idea.
Like that's awesome. That is such a great idea.
But yeah, so like the Bad Batch is coming. It's coming next week, and our next episode is actually going to be on Star Wars Day. So that's super awesome. The Bad Batch is based on all of the trailers and information that we've seen, it's a direct sequel to Clone Wars, because we're following characters that were introduced in Clone Wars, introduced in the final season. And the final season of Clone Wars actually ended last year on Star Wars Day with the finale, and now we got Bad Batch premiering on Star Wars Day. So that feels
very poetic.
Fun. Yeah, that feels like a fun little thing there. But yeah, it's like we have more animated stuff coming. I wasn't expecting it, so I'm really excited about it, because I kind of thought live action was gonna kind of push the animated stuff out of the way.
For sure, yeah. Do we want to go right into
the thing that we knew is, because especially with the animated, but we will be doing this for future projects that are going to be coming up that we're for sure going to be covering. animated Star Wars is a little bit more of a niche even in the Star Wars universe. So we wanted to make sure anyone who wants to watch The Bad Batch can watch The Bad Batch and is not going to be having the moment of, I don't have time to stream 7 seasons of the Clone Wars before next Tuesday. It is possible. It is not easy. So,
there's about 100-something episodes, so
yeah.
But they are 20 to 25 minutes, so that helps.
So we wanted to give you a breakdown of what you need to know going in. And I will preface that by saying, if you wanted to not only watch this, but see what episodes are probably most important, the big 4 are for sure the first 4 episodes of season 7. And then the ones that we also would consider are probably the last 4 of season 7. And if for no other reason, watch the last 4 because they are just like beautiful and spectacularly cinematic.
Absolutely.
But I think we're going to start this off with Richard, who has been blowing through the Clone Wars and is probably the most familiar with it at the moment, giving us a little bit of general knowledge of what you should know coming out of Clone Wars going into the Bad Batch, because the Bad Batch isn't following characters like Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, as far as we know. It's following actual clones from the Clone Wars. And if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, you might be going, who are these guys? So we wanted to give you a little background on Clone Wars itself and the clones. Richard, take it away.
Yeah, no. So as you guys know, I'm definitely the Star Wars noob on this show, but I have spent the last 2 to 3 months getting through almost all of Clone Wars. I just watched the first 4 episodes of season 7 last night. So good. I can't wait for Bad Batch even more now. But the basic things that you need to know about the Bad Batch, and I feel so happy being able to talk about this. I feel like a real Star Wars fan.
Well, before we get into the Bad Batch, let's get into the clones themselves and the
for
clones
sure.
themselves.
Yeah, so the Clone Wars, basically the first 6 seasons it's exploring what happens in between episodes 2 and 3 in the Skywalker saga. You know, the giant Clone Wars that starts at the end of episode 2 and goes all the way up to Order 66 in episode 3. You've got, the thing I love about this series is that, like Caitlin was saying, Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi aren't really the main focus in the show. I mean, they're important players because they've been, key players in the Star Wars saga, but you focus on all these individual clones that are fighting in the Clone Wars. You've got, Rex, Echo, Fives, Heavy. There's this whole team of clones that the show focuses on, and it's all these different adventures, against the Jedi and the Sith. You get a little bit of Darth Maul returning in like season 5. So they bring back some crazy old Star Wars stories. And
you also do get Jedi that you see for about 5 seconds in the prequels, and then they die.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you actually get to see them as characters.
For sure. And then and this series also introduces Ahsoka Tano, who comes into play in The Mandalorian later. She's a really big player in this series. But this show gives some really great depth to, obviously, the Clone Wars. Everything that's going on through the galaxy as the clones are being built, as they're developing personalities. And that's the coolest thing, I think, to me about the show as someone who's watching it for the first time is all these clones have their own personalities. They are their own people. Yes, they're these obedient soldiers who, take care of things for the Jedi and, go to battle and everything. But it's really cool seeing all the different personalities in this show.
I wouldn't even say obedient. I'd say dutiful. They feel a sense of duty.
Fair enough. Yes, absolutely.
No, you touched on exactly what I think is important to know about the Clone Wars. The clones in the Clone Wars are individuals. They are distinctive. They have names. They have personalities. With Order 66, we know that kind of is not going to be exactly necessarily what we're going to be seeing with a lot of them. So going into it knowing that has been the world that these characters have lived in is very important. It's important to remember the clones have worked with the Jedi, serving with the Jedi for years. They have been their soldiers and their friends. It's crazy important. We also, as we all know, Palpatine created the Clone Wars. He manipulated everything. He created both sides of it. He made it so that they were spending money and soldiers and taking over planets and all this crazy. He created this chaos so that he
the whole
could take
Sifo
control
Dyas
later.
thing from season 5 or 6, I think that was crazy.
Well, that was great because, again, this is something, if you want to have an additive experience from the prequels, that was supposed to be a storyline in the prequels that got moved to Clone Wars because they didn't have time. So the big takeaways from the general sense of Clone Wars is the clones are individuals. There's going to be another piece of that we will cover with Order 66. But the clones are individuals. They've been serving with the Jedi, and kind of the galaxy is in ruin a little bit because they've been in this war for years. But now let's get to the main event of the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch themselves. The Bad Batch were introduced in a 4-episode arc in season 7.
Which is so good.
Yes, top notch. Top notch.
Yes.
They're kind of the special forces of the clones because they are technically speaking defective. They have these genetic mutations that were created specifically to be helpful for the Empire. You have their leader Hunter, who has enhanced senses, like including the ability to sense like electromagnetic fields, which is insane. You
droids.
Have Wrecker. Yeah, droids. Like, it makes sense why you need it.
Totally.
You have Wrecker, who has got enhanced strength and is probably Richard and mine's favorite because he's just hilarious.
Like I said, I just watched these last night. I love Wrecker. Like, he just wants to blow shit up.
Yep. He literally cries out of joy that he gets to blow up a bunch of spaceships. It's amazing.
This is amazing. This is the best day of my life.
Yep. He's got Tech, who is enhanced intelligence, and he's got, like, obviously, he's the tech guy. It's where he gets his nickname. And then you have Crosshair, who is a sniper. He's got enhanced sight, so he's, like, the best sniper ever. So you got these 4 who are introduced as the Bad Batch initially. They go on a mission with Rex, who, if you haven't watched Clone Wars, he's sort of the main clone we follow. He works with Ahsoka Tano and Anakin the most. And I will say, before I go on with the Bad Batch, the Clone Wars explains why Anakin is seen as one of the best Jedi. Because if you're in the movies, that's sort of not really ever shown.
Yeah,
totally.
So the Clone Wars, like, really enhances these characters. And you're like, oh, Anakin's great. That makes sense why they were, like, upset.
Yeah.
So they go on a mission with Rex and Anakin, and it's because, like, the droids are figuring out their battle plans. And they're like, well,
exactly.
Why is this going on? Is it, like, an AI program that's figuring out our, like, what we're going to do? It's
Trench,
not.
right?
Yeah, it's not. It's actually Echo, who is going to be our 5th member of the Bad Batch. Now, Echo was initially a regular clone, or a reg, who was blown up and assumed dead all the way back in season 3, episode 19, when they took the Citadel.
Yeah.
And then gets found in season 7. So he's been kind of held, like, prisoner by the bad guys for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And he's, like, half cyborg now, pretty much.
Exactly. He's been he has these cybernetic, I guess you can say, enhancements that were given to him not by his choice, by the Techno Union. That's less important for you to know about, like, the Techno Union. But he has these cybernetic enhancements, so he can, like, tap into stuff that droids can tap into. So the Bad Batch is really these 5 characters that don't fit into the clones, and they really don't fit in anywhere else. But they are the best at what they do. They can go into any situation. They can do the suicide mission, and they'll come out of it alive. So,
did they say they have a 100% success rate?
Yep, 100% success rate. That is not something that ever happens.
Nope.
So these are the main characters that you really need to know. It's why we're saying, if you're going to watch anything to be able to watch the Bad Batch, watch the first 4 episodes of season 7. Because these are the guys that this show is going to follow, which seems, like, obvious since it's called the Bad Batch. But going into when it's set, the Bad Batch is going to be set pretty much, I think, after, like, pretty close after the Clone Wars, I would guess.
Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah, we're dealing
I'm
with...
assuming, like, pretty much right after Order 66.
Immediately after.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're dealing with the aftermath of the Empire rising to power and the Bad Batch trying to find their place in it. And we have mentioned Order 66 more than once. Bryce, do you want to kind of explain what Order 66 is and how that came into play with the clones?
Oh, I suppose. So, Order 66 is a minor subplot in the Star Wars franchise where
minor subplot, says.
Where
yeah, just where all the Jedi get killed.
Where all the clones are turned by Emperor Palpatine, because Emperor Palpatine created all the clones and had this thing called, well, and they all have this inhibitor chip in their heads to where
Without anyone else's knowledge, including them.
Yes. Yeah. So none of them know
Only
this except for a
Palpatine.
select few clones found out. And so Palpatine is able to use this inhibitor chip to call upon Order 66, which is the order where they kill all of the Jedi in Episode 3. So I think some essential viewing before Bad Batch would definitely be Revenge of the Sith. Definitely. If you haven't seen Revenge of the Sith, first of all, it's the best prequel. Second of all, you're really going to watch this before Bad Batch because you're going to be really lost.
Also, it's 16 years old, so...
Yeah. And then also, the final 4 episodes of Clone Wars take place during Order 66 in cohesion with the movie.
Yeah.
So that's another really cool thing to watch. Oh, by the way, Richard, I would encourage you to watch Revenge of the Sith before you get to the final 4 episodes.
All right.
Because that's gonna really help out your viewing experience, I think. But
at least that was one of the ones I actually saw when it came out. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So I've actually been caught up on that since the beginning.
Yeah,
Thank
I
God.
was around 4 when that movie came out. So
I hear that.
Yeah, so but yeah, that's basically Order 66, the inhibitor chip that Palpatine inserted in all of the clones, basically made it to where he was able to control all of the clones and make them do whatever he wanted, and basically he was able to take full control over the clone army.
Yeah, and like we said, Clone Wars, they were these distinctive individuals with personalities. They wanted to serve, they were proud to serve, and that sort of, seems like, was stripped away with Order 66.
It basically turned them into, like, drones.
Yeah.
It turned them into the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Kind of, yeah.
And what I think we're probably most excited about, other than the Bad Batch, because it's these crazy group of characters, and they always have, like, really cool action. But I think what I'm most excited about is actually the fact that we're going to see the Empire rise to power, because all we've ever really seen is the Republic and the Separatists fall, and the Empire, and like Emperor Palpatine goes, "We're the Empire now," and everyone goes, "Yay!" And then like 10 years later, everyone's like, "This sucks. Why didn't we like this?" So we're really going to see them rise to power. I know Bryce really wants to see why we went from clone troopers to stormtroopers.
That's a cool thing that I want to see explored
I hope
in
so.
the shows.
That'd be cool.
Because, well, actually they did this in this book or this comic. No, I want to see it in an actual production. You know, I'm not one of those people who reads every single book or every single panel of the comic books, you know.
Right,
so,
for sure.
I mean, I don't feel like I should have to. You know,
no, I think
that's
Star Wars
very
is
major
really,
plot point.
Yeah, I think Star Wars is really good at it. If you read all the books and all the comics and watch all the shows and all the movies, you have a full experience.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that to understand what's going on in the movies or understand
unless you're watching the Rise of Skywalker. Then you're screwed.
Can't get into that. We're not even going there.
Nope.
No, I understand.
Hey, Lint324, thanks for joining us. But yeah, I think what we're so excited about is we're going to see this new era within the Star Wars timeline. We know from the trailers that we're going to see Emperor Palpatine. We're going to see Tarkin, who ironically was actually in the episode where Echo was thought to have been killed in season 3. So I'm curious if we're going to see any like comment on that. We know from the trailers we're going to see Fennec from
Mandalorian, right?
Mandalorian. So I'm really interested if we're going to see some characters like that, because we saw Boba Fett actually in Clone Wars a few times. So maybe there's a history there.
Yeah. What if Boba Fett's in Bad Batch? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
pretty cool.
Although I don't know if there's really going to be a connection between him and Fennec though, because they didn't meet till the Mandalorian, right?
No, but it could be a connection through the Bounty Hunter Guild.
Yeah, maybe.
And we know we're going to see Saw Gerrera based on the trailers. So we know we're going to see these characters from the larger Star Wars universe as well as Clone Wars. I'm hoping we see more animated characters from Clone Wars, like there have been rumors of Bo-Katan, there have been rumors of Rex. I would not necessarily be shocked to see Ahsoka. And like maybe Matt Lanter was
for Anakin,
hinting at Bad Batch.
Also, he could just be playing a different character. Did he specifically say Anakin?
He said Anakin.
Oh, he said Anakin.
Okay.
Well, then he's probably playing Anakin. But yeah.
But yeah, so no, there's a lot of really cool possibilities to go with this, but I'm really excited to see how the Empire really like became the Empire, because they're like, one of the things that's so interesting about the prequels, the Republic's not like great. You know, it's not like they went from this great thing into the Empire. No, there's probably a reason that Emperor Palpatine was able to manipulate this and create a situation in which people wanted the Empire. So to see the ramifications of that, I'm curious if we're going to see people like really fighting against it from the start, because had Padme lived, I wouldn't be shocked if she was fighting against it. So I'm sure there's going to be other characters in some way doing that. What do you guys think? What do you want to see? What are you speculating?
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this whole Empire, you know, the way it's built, like you were saying. Because, like, in the movies, and at least so far in the animated stuff that I've watched so far, it really does seem like there's a distinct gap between when the Republic falls and when the Empire forms. Because all we hear about the Empire forming is in Episode 3 with Palpatine, when he first...
his big speech.
His big speech to the Senate, exactly. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to seeing most. And also just the Pat Patch is awesome. Those characters are great, and I can't wait to see more of them.
Well, I mean, you kind of said it for me, Caitlin. I'm really excited to hopefully see the transition from clones to stormtroopers. I think that's a really cool thing that hasn't been explored in the TV shows or the movies yet. And I think that would be a really interesting to see happen. And I think this is probably the most perfect show to do it in. It's around that time frame, and it deals with clones. So I think this is the perfect show to do it in if they're doing it. I don't know if they're going to do it season 1, but at some point during the show, that is something I would love to see explored.
Yeah.
Also, just one good thing, Lint324 says more Hondo.
Hell great. Yeah!
I would love
more Hondo.
For sure.
I mean, the fact where we see him in Clone Wars to where we see him in Rebels, spoiler, Richard, but in Rebels, he doesn't have, like, his pirate crew. What happened?
Man, he was great with the pirate crew.
Right? And it seems like the Empire is kind of the reason for that, so to see how that played out would be awesome. That is an excellent suggestion, Lint324. Thank you so much for that.
Totally. More Hondo.
I am now hoping for Hondo. That was not even on my radar.
There you go.
Totally.
And then we know from kind of the description that the Bad Batch is going to be trying to find their place in this post-Clone Wars world. So do you guys, and based on, like, on the trailers, it doesn't seem like they're drones.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
So I'm guessing that the chips are going to come into play.
Sorry, I have no idea what's going to be going on there, because, I mean, we never saw them remove the chip in Clone Wars.
Right.
So...
The only clone, spoilers, Richard, the only clone who we saw get the chip out is Rex.
Right.
So does it get removed? Does it malfunction? Are there...
Well, yeah, maybe because they are, like, a Bad Batch, like, maybe they didn't have it, or it didn't work the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, there was an arc in, like, season 6 where it malfunctioned in one of the clones. It malfunctioned in a way that was the opposite, where it worked too early, but maybe it could be something like that.
R Film says, hello there, in the chat. Hello there to you too, Jandar Films. Lynch324 says, I hope Hondo shows up in Obi-Wan as well.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be
God,
awesome.
that's hilarious.
That would be so funny.
They gotta find somebody good to play a live action Hondo.
Yeah.
Well, especially because he does think they're friends. Like, that even gets referenced in Rebels, where he's like, I think we were friends. That would be amazing. If you want to see a live action Hondo, go to Disneyland, because the Millennium Falcon ride has the animatronic Hondo. It's really good.
I think I remember that. Yeah, I think I remember that last time I went there.
And also, if you want to see a live-action Hondo, you can also go to change.org and petition to have a live-action Hondo Disney Plus show.
Oh, man.
We will sign it. We will
for sure. But, no, especially for, like I said, someone who's just getting into this, I am pumped for Bad Batch. I think it's going to be a really cool show.
Yeah.
Well, and what's also kind of, like, hilarious is Bryce, you actually wrote an article back when Clone Wars was
Yeah, I
ending
did.
last year, and
Yeah.
threw the idea of the Bad Batch being a spin-off show out there as a
Yeah.
possibility.
I mean,
Wow.
it wasn't like an original idea. Like other people were speculating about it as well. But yeah, I did. I called every single one. Every single one that I mentioned in that article happened, except I guessed Maul, and that hasn't happened yet. But I guessed Bad Batch. I guess Ahsoka. I guess something else. I can't remember. But then another one was Maul, and that one hasn't happened yet. But I think it will at some point.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at
Yeah.
all. Well, speaking of Darth Maul, the voice actor who voiced him in Clone Wars and Rebels, Sam Witwer, actually mentioned like last year that the animation looked really, really incredible on Bad Batch. So that to me could mean that we're going to see Maul. I think it'd be very cool because we know from Solo that he really built up his criminal empire while the galactic empire was going on.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, Spider Maul was some of the creepiest stuff I've ever seen in my life, and it still gives me
100%.
nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this weird rambling nonsense
Ugh.
while eating garbage. Yeah, that was.
That still gives me nightmares.
Jandar Films in the chat asks, aren't they superior? Wouldn't the chip not be able to function with them? Perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
And that you should watch season 7 of Clone Wars to
Definitely,
recap.
for sure. Yeah,
Agreed.
we recommended that.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, we would. I think our major suggestions would be the first 4 episodes, the last 4 episodes, and then Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Those are kind of our like big ones that we think you should. You could watch season 3, episode 19 if you wanted to see Echo seem to die, but that's really all you need to know about that. Is it seems like he dies. Season 6, the first 4 episodes are the arc about one of the clones learning about the inhibitor chip. So if you wanted to see that, you could watch the first 4 episodes of episode 6. But like we said, our big ones are first 4 episodes of season 7, last 4 episodes of season 7, and Revenge of the Sith. And if there are other ones, during Bad Batch, if there's an episode where a specific character or storyline comes into play that is from Clone Wars, we will talk about that storyline or character, and we will tell you which one it is, so you can go back and watch that if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
They're all on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Lint324 said Solo too. Yes, please.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like everybody kind of trashes on that movie, but I enjoyed Solo.
I love Solo. I thought the main actor did really, really well at feeling like he played a young Han Solo.
Yeah. And that's the thing people complain most about is him. I'm just like, he did a great job. What are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
The Star Wars fandom gets so divided on stuff like that just all the time.
Hey, it's not the Power Rangers fandom. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, let's not even go into that. Well, Solo also
we won't. I am not getting
Solo had the actress who played Carly Morgenthau in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And didn't it have Paul Bettany also?
Yeah, he was a bad guy. He was one of Darth Maul's cabal members, essentially. Like he was one of his, I guess, lieutenants. And there's actually a cameo of him in the last arc of Clone Wars. It's not talking or anything. It's very, very quick. But yeah, it was a cool tie-in.
Can't wait to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that. Okay, Jand R Films said. So sorry. The 5-story arc is his favorite, apart from the Obi-Wan Bounty Hunter arc. The 5-story arc is the arc about Clone 5, specifically learning about the inhibitor chips, finding out what that meant and what was going to happen with that. Again, it is not necessarily required. It's a very cool arc, and it will really kind of hammer home what these inhibitor chips are doing to the clones in a way that you wouldn't necessarily fully understand beyond what you need to from us, which is they were legit distinctive people and personalities. Order 66, they're kind of not.
Can't wait for the show though.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we're very excited. I think seeing Darth Maul would be very cool, and I think a good way to tie in with that is we know that the Bad Batch is trying to figure out where they fit in this post-Clone Wars world based on the synopsis that has been everywhere. So maybe they're trying to get kind of criminal work with Darth Maul, because I don't really know what their skills would be useful for unless it's like vigilante or criminal stuff.
I really want the Hondo thing now. That would be awesome.
Hondo would be amazing. I'm really curious to see how Saw Gerrera comes into play. Is he someone we only see once? Is he a long-term thing? Tarkin and the Emperor we know are going to be around. I'm hoping we get Rex. I'm sure we'll get Commander Cody, who you actually not only meet in Clone Wars, you see him in Revenge of the Sith. He's kind of like Obi-Wan's main like clone guy.
Contact, yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him. But no, I'm really excited. The premiere of The Bad Batch is next Tuesday, May the 4th, Star Wars Day. It is a super long episode. It's going to be 2 minutes or something like that.
I've heard something between 70 and 75.
Yeah, it's crazy
it's basically
long.
like a movie to start you off
Pretty
with.
much. And the same way Clone Wars started, right?
Yep, it really feels like they're kind of going in that direction, which I'm excited for. I'm excited how that's going to come into play. And based on the trailers, we're going to get a new character with the young person that is like hanging out with the Bad Batch in some capacity. So I'm curious about how that is going to work out and who they are. Right. I'm sure we'll see that. Yeah. Cad Bane would be pretty cool to see too.
Cad Bane would be cool.
You are 100% right. Cad Bane would be
real
great.
Jango Fett in the chat.
We've had Jango Fett, whoever you are, in the chat for a couple weeks, so thank you for being here.
Oh, really? Whoops.
Cad
Sorry,
Bane
Jango.
would be really cool. Because we know we're getting Fennec Rau, so if we see some of the other bounty hunters and Cad Bane is like a big one, that would be a really good way to go with it. It also would be a potential way to bring in Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
they're kind of in that same like area as well. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be a cool show. I think it's going to be a show that if you've watched Clone Wars, this is like for sure the thing to watch. And I also think it's something that on the larger scope of Star Wars is going to be a cool way to show how the Empire has really like gotten its like hands around every aspect of the galaxy.
I want them to go into that for sure.
I think they have to. I mean, there's no way they can't really, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that is kind of our breakdown of not only what you need to know to be able to watch The Bad Batch, but what we hope to see in The Bad Batch. So we kind of have this, here's what you need to know, here's our big speculation, and we love hearing from you guys because you guys had some really, really great ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we only have a week till it comes out now, so we're getting real close.
Yeah, we will have a big, like, breakdown of our reactions, our thoughts, and our speculation in the next episode. Yeah. And we're hoping for some like big Star Wars stuff coming because it is Star Wars Day. So while we will of course cover Marvel and DC, Star Wars is going to be front and center next.
That'll be our biggest Star Wars Day yet, for sure.
Well, it should be. It's Star Wars Day.
Well, yeah, there's that.
For sure, yeah.
And speaking of the Bad Batch and all of that awesomeness that is coming, we at the Illuminerdi will have our first official Star Wars watch-along featuring the Bad Batch as our show. So it's like what we have done with the Marvel watch-alongs for WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier. And then last, I believe, Friday or Saturday, we had the Mortal Kombat watch-along. So if you haven't watched Mortal Kombat yet and you want to, check that out while you do. But we will be having a Star Wars watch-along with the Bad Batch. So come watch with us. Come share your thoughts, your opinions, your speculations. We love to hear it, and we love watching these shows with you guys. And then we love talking about them with you here on It's All Connected later in the week.
Yeah, those watch-alongs are a lot of fun. We have a good time.
Yes, they're a blast. Lint324, happy Star Wars Day. Yes, we can't wait. We hope you join us here again for Star Wars Day.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
But I think that is our big news stuff and our big breakdown of what you need to know for the Bad Batch for this episode.
I think that covers about everything.
Yep. What do you guys think? Do you got anything else?
I think I'm good.
Bring on the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
All right, does that wrap things up?
I think that wraps things up. I mean, just thank you guys so much for joining us. I know we had a ton of stuff to talk about this week, but we got a good show prepared for you guys next time on Star Wars Day.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Please join us in the chat again. And as we have said, if you send in super chats, we will get Richard or Bryce to do something insane.
Or Caitlin, maybe.
I must be earned. You need 5.
5
say-
super chats.
I was
for
saying,
you to do
there's no
something?
way it's gonna be easy
Whatever,
for Caitlin.
man.
Oh,
5 super
man.
chats.
I didn't say it had to be the same episode. It can be just 5 in general for the show.
We'll have to work out the details on that off screen.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so join us back here again next week for Star Wars Day for a
Yes.
Star Wars packed Bad Batch like epic episode of It's All Connected. Also, please join us for the Star Wars watch along of the Bad
Mhm.
Batch. We love doing them. We love watching these with you guys because it's especially after having to watch so many movies and shows alone this last year, it's really fun to do it together.
Exactly.
And yes, Django Fett and everyone else who is watching, may the force be with you.
Yes,
May the force be with you.
But yeah, I think that wraps things up. Definitely be sure to follow us on social media. Our handles are down in the description below. Be sure to subscribe to the Illuminerdi YouTube channel. Turn on those post notifications. We got plenty of shows for you to choose from, including this one. Obviously, you're watching it right now. But we've got shows for just about everybody. So we got Power Ranger shows, Star Trek shows, wrestling shows, everything. So definitely be sure to subscribe, turn on those post notifications to be notified of everything that comes onto the channel here in the future. Again, thank you all so much for watching. And remember, here at the Illuminerdi, we're always watching. Take care.
See you next week.